Game day, sunny and a high of 20. Currently in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky. It is 11.
B&A Petroleum is a Southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On Rough Riders, plunge right through that line. March the ball on down the field, a touchdown every time. Oh, Rough Riders, fight on for your fame. Fight, fellows, fight, and we will win this game.
Nothing wrong with a little on Rough Riders to start your week. Monday edition of the Sports Cage. However you're tuning in, thank you very much, whether it's on the radio, 620 CKRM, through any of the streams out there, maybe you're watching through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Thanks for making some time. A busy show. A lot of balls in the air, as they say. We have the Riders. We got to break down what happened in Ottawa. A win. A win's a win. 1-0, right? We are going to talk about that. We're going to hear from Coach Mace on some injury updates. We're going to hear from Coach Mueller. In the coaches show, in hour 2, we're going to hear from Andrew Harris, the running backs coach. That's coming up. We're going to talk Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays. I'm kind of, am I allowed to just slowly jump on the bandwagon here? Like 1 foot? Maybe like when you used to ride in the back of a half ton when you were a kid, like doing a bottle drive on and off kind of thing. I just have so many Blue Jay fans that I know, and I'm excited for you guys. Arash Madani is going to talk Blue Jays. Arash is going to come on Monday, strictly Blue Jays with Arash. Tim Seiferling from Regina, assistant coach of Canada's women's flag football team. They played at halftime yesterday, the Sunday night football game in Buffalo. He's flying back as we speak. He's going to join us in hour 1 just to chat about the experience and what that was like. They did show a few plays on NBC last night. Also coming up, Darian Durant in hour 3. We're going to try and recap as much of the local hockey scene as possible because we are a local sports show. What happened in the WHL, what happened in the SJHL, AAA, both female and male. And then we have Pat Chat today, too, as well. One of the local athletes will be joining us. So it's a busy show. And then the other thing that we can just chat about it, because I'm sure you heard, especially if you're an Edmonton Oiler fan, as we bring Maz in. Maz is with me again on this Monday. Connor McDavid. It came down before the season, which technically starts tomorrow. 2-year extension. So he's got this year and then 2 more. And now he doesn't have to go and answer questions in any market they go play in. It's done with. As things progressed, and I think we talked about it, it was like, yeah, probably a short-term deal. I still thought I'm not gonna be the guy that's like, I told you so. I thought that there was a chance that he might say, I need to move on for my family, because he always talked about his family. You know, his wife, was it Lauren?
Yeah.
And his dog.
Yeah, you could always use the wife as an excuse. Like if it's somebody at your front door trying to sell you something, my wife's not home. I can't make a decision like this without her, say so.
That's the timeshare thing, right? If you ever want to get out of a timeshare, they want you and your wife there, or they want you and your husband there, or whatever setup you have. They want both of you there. So all you have to say is, I don't know. No, that's not my wife. It's a coworker. Oh, okay.
So at the Connor McDavid press conference tomorrow, because I think they're having a giant one at Rogers Place. If we can fire up the Harvard corporate jet, you and I go, the very first question I'm going to ask, and I'll somehow get to the microphone. So, Connor, in 2 years when this extension's done, do you have any plans? Are you going to be sticking around Edmonton? He's gone. Oiler fans, you got 25% of your wish. He re-signed, but just know in 2 years he's probably gone. Whether they win or they don't win a Stanley Cup, I think he's done in Edmonton. You can't call him selfish because he stuck around for, what will that be, 11 years?
So here's my thing when I heard it today. I have never respected Connor McDavid more, not that it matters to him or anybody, than today. Taking the deal that he's taking, 12.5, what's Kaprizov, 17 a year? Like Connor McDavid's 4.5 less than that. He is proving he wants to win there. 12.5's good. I'm good with 12.5. Wife Lauren, Bar Trove is her restaurant in downtown Edmonton. Couple more years of that. Funds coming in.
Sure, but don't cry for me, Argentina. I think we went over this on the show a few weeks ago when it was just me and Colson one day. His career earnings just in hockey, not endorsements, he's already at $95 million. This is not like, no matter what decision he were to make, if he would have played for $1 next year, he's still okay. But yes, do you want to get paid or do you want to win? He's saying, I'll take less because I want to win. Now, Flames fans aren't handling this well online because all they were dreaming about is getting him out of the division. Well, that's not happening. And your team has no superstars. You're a glorified AHL team. So whatever the Oilers decide to do to you this year, next year, and the year after that, you're just going to have to take, unless Craig Conroy opens the pocketbook. And now all they're dreaming about, they're not cheering for the Flames. They're cheering for the Oilers to not win the Stanley Cup in the next 3 years. As a Flames fan, that's all you have to grasp onto.
And a new rink. And a new barn. Coming down the... What is that, next year?
Sure, but for the average person, are they going to be able to afford to go to that? No, it's ridiculous the prices now at the Saddle Dome, where there's cracks in the roof, in the concrete, and it's $400 a ticket.
Oiler fans, 936-6262 all day long. Fire away.
Oh,
If you can rub it in, you can boast whatever you want. I think
text line's already telling me to shut up. Eat it.
Here's the thing. Like Connor McDavid, and so I listened to the Stan Bowman presser. I was like, oh, should we bring somebody on from the Oilers? Should we? We got enough Rider talk. We got Blue Jays. We try and keep things as local as possible too. And I'm like, the gist of it is, Connor called a shot. The Oilers basically were like, what do you want? And Connor came back with this. It wasn't like the Oilers said, well, let's play hardball with them. Let's go 12. Let's go 12.5. Like they wouldn't have won. They would have went more. They would have went 17 or whatever. They would highest paid player in the game. And then Connor pulls the Kramer with Jackie Childs. I'll take it. 12.5. Stan Bowman's like, what? That's it. That's it. That's all but now what should happen? Connor should have said, here's the deal. You have to convince Darnell Nurse to give some money back. Darnell Nurse needs to restructure his contract.
Hey.
You have to restructure that contract, Darnell, because you are not worth, what is it, 9 something? Oiler fans, sorry.
Sure.
We got to
He's in the new NHL.
You got to give some of that back, man. It's like when you get
No way.
more change back at a restaurant. You do the right thing. Nah, Darnell.
I listened to an interview on Friday. It was all about how Evan Bouchard it's not a liability for the Oilers, Dean, in the playoffs. But then that was Friday. Then on Saturday, there was like a recap show on Sportsnet I was watching. It was basically the behind the scenes of the Cup final. I love those. You know, they're in the dressing room on the ice. Everybody's mic'd up and all of this. And then I'm just watching these highlights. And how many goals Evan Bouchard is on the ice for. Oh, but tell me he wasn't a defensive liability last year. Oh, he's got a great slap shot. But you're going to give him all that. You gave him all that money, and he doesn't play defense. So on the Darnell Nurse front, at least Darnell tries to play a little deep.
And this isn't money for this coming year. Like in the next 3 years of McDavid, that they now have McDavid for, this is probably going to be the down year. Will it not? I'm sure they're still going to be good. They're still going to make the playoffs. Will they make a run? Yes. It's going to be the next year and the year after, where they can take some of these savings and say, go out and get somebody. Now, everyone's saying, we got to get a goaltender. I was talking to an Oilers fan today. So now we got to go find a goaltender. Okay, who? Who, and does that person want to move to Edmonton? I get you got McDavid and you got a chance of winning the Cup. Is that guy married? Do they want to uproot things and come to Edmonton? That is a real thing. And then who's out there for a goalie? Like Skinner, is Skinner really that bad? I think he could win you games. He's won you games. How about you look at it a different way and get some real defensemen? Defense. No? I don't know. Darnell's got to give some money back. And it should be retroactive from when he signed that deal. They should go. But it's like when the CRA comes after you and say, "Hey, you owe us this," and you're like, "Well, come on, no, got to pay. Got to pay. Healthcare doesn't just fall on trees, come off trees. We need that money back."
That's a great analogy. Curtis, if you're listening, can you make up a meme? Healthcare doesn't fall on trees, and put just Barney's picture and then a tree. Fall off trees. Sorry. Healthcare doesn't fall off trees. I'm going to actually book you a spot in the Ledge. Everett Hindley, who's the health minister, who we used to work with and we know. I'm going to get you to come in and do a little. I know you're going to come in and give a little guest spot pep talk to everybody at the Ledge, both sides of the aisle. I need you all to get along and listen for the next 10 seconds. Healthcare doesn't fall off trees.
I'm smart enough to know that it doesn't really. It's not really their problem. It's more in Ottawa. That's where let's move on from this. We got text messages coming in, and its reason is because I had to deal with the health. My mom was in the hospital last week, so I had to deal with the healthcare system. If you're a nurse or a paramedic, give them whatever they want. They're like Connor McDavid. They're like Bowman with Connor McDavid. What do you need? This is what you do? Every day you put up with this? Unbelievable. I thought, like, teachers, which are on strike now in Alberta, I heard. But nurses, top shelf. Nurses and paramedics. That's their first liners in my books. Teachers move to second.
Teachers number one because it's kids. But the newest wrinkle to kids nowadays in the past 20 years is that you have to deal with the parents who are sometimes worse than the kids. Because where are the kids getting it from? Because in the old days, it was just a teacher-student thing. Now mom's emailing every day, the teacher. What about this? What about this? What about this?
So speaking of kids, I'm on the air doing a 3-hour talk show right now. My son is calling me. So I'm putting him, he's on the phone right now. He's listening to me. Do you not know what Dad's working?
Maybe it's an emergency, Barney.
Then he'll call back.
Maybe he needs some of that health care. Maybe he needs some of that health care that's falling off trees because this is an emergency.
Dan messaged in. It's not up on my screen here, Colson, but I think Dan messaged in and say He said something about the jet. We're taking the jet. That was a joke, a ha-ha from Maz.
Do we probably someplace somewhere where there's
they are talking to they're talking if we can go to Lumsden to watch a high school football game. We're seeing if we have budget to send us to Lumsden.
Speaking
Darnell
of flying,
Nurse.
did you see that story? What?
Darnell, go ahead. I'm reading the text messages.
No, I said, speaking of flying, did you see that crazy story last week? WestJet's going to start charging for seats that recline.
Yeah.
Like, they have not got you for everything. Now you want a seat that reclines? Oh, that's extra.
I used to be a WestJet fan. They're slipping out of my graces, and I have nowhere to go. You have like literally nowhere to go. There's no Canada Air, Canadian Air like back in the day. We have no options. We are absolutely sitting pigeons. That's what we are, especially when you fly out of Saskatchewan. It's like, well, then I'll take my business elsewhere. Yeah, where? Ryder Express? Have fun. See you. It's like Moe's Tavern when he was selling all those flaming Moe's. What, Homer? I can't hear you. You're going to have to speak up. Darnell Nurse makes Logan Stanley look good. Brendan saying Darnell Nurse is now value contract. Luke Hughes has played 50 games and got over $9 million. You're comparing a Corvette to a Pontiac Sunfire.
I like this one. Ryan says, I go to the Saddle Dome for a game every year. I've only paid more than $100 per ticket to go to a regular season game. It's only expensive if you want to sit near the ice. Well, Ryan, I would like to sit near the ice. I don't want to sit near the roof in the third level of any hockey rink. I want to be close to the action. But $400 a ticket to watch an AHL team play a NHL team is a little stiff on a weeknight.
James sent in actually my son's stuck at school. He just texted me, who's taking me home. I'm gonna have to deal with that. I have to call Uber. James has a timeshare story. Oh. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it in a bit, and we'll get on that. 936-6262 Prairieland Rentals text line. You can also message us on the YouTube chat, and we'll read them. Keep them to, like I said, 30, 40 words is great. And Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Power tools, generators. It's that time of the year. Start thinking about Husqvarna snow throwers. They are arriving now at Prairieland Rentals. Okay, we're going to talk Riders when we come back. Also, Arash Madani is going to come back and talk Blue Jays. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com when we're on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Affordability in Canada is getting worse. Canadians are now paying nearly half their paycheck towards taxes. That's more than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. It's unacceptable. Conservatives stand with hardworking Canadians and will take aim at the affordability crisis by bringing down taxes, cutting spending towards needless bureaucracy and consultants, and fight for fiscal discipline in this Liberal government. My name is Warren Steinley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Louvain, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
All right, we're going to get to the Riders back half of this hour. We have to talk Blue Jays. That's why we bring in Arash on a Monday. And I said to Arash off the start of the show, I'm really happy because there's so many people that are just so passionate about this team. People I know, people that I love. They are on the wagon. So I'm kind of sitting on the back on the tailgate. I'm on, I'm off. What a weekend. I'm not believing anybody, though, that says, hey, I told you this was going to happen, because that's not true.
Well, it's not true because 10 days ago, none of us thought this was going to happen. I mean, let's be real. You know, it reached, remember, John Schneider, I believe his direct quote was, some people think the sky is falling. I'm here to tell you the sky is not falling. Like that's kind of where things were. And all of a sudden they win, you know, they sweep the Rays the last 3 games of the regular season. That sneaks them the division title. And it's almost like all that champagne contains some kind of magic fairy dust on the bats, because they just mashed their way through the first 2 games. And Canada's on board, guys. Like, viewership averaged 3.5 million each of Saturday and Sunday. 1 out of 4 Canadians watched at least some of it. And if they saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. open the series hitting a home run to the moon, and then following that up on Sunday with the first postseason Grand Slam in franchise history, they're starting to see why Vladdy got $500 million at the start of this season.
It's funny, Arash, on Saturday we were at the in-laws having supper, and at this point the game is 9-1. And I want to turn the channel to what? Listen, let's not even get into that. The subject came up, I avoided it. It's 9-1, but the Lions Stampeder game had started, and I wanted to turn the channel. And my father-in-law, who's 83 years old, comes flying across the kitchen. I thought he was going to tackle me into the little landing down below where the TV is, that I would dare suggest it's the 9th inning and it's 9-1. We changed the channel before the game was complete, because
I'm picturing Macho Man Randy Savage flying through the air with a clothesline in the middle of the ring. Here's what's interesting, guys. The thing about the Blue Jays is that people may not pay that much attention to them, if at all, through the regular season. And maybe it's because, especially for an older generation, especially because it was such a novelty when they came into existence in the 70s. You know, baseball has come to Canada. It almost like gave a validation to our country as a sports country. They may not be following through the regular season, but good luck on Thanksgiving weekend getting that remote or getting that channel changed. It's not going to happen. This is one of those things that April, May, June, July, August, they'd probably tell you to buzz off if you wanted to watch the Blue Jay game. But come postseason, come playoffs, there's a lot of thoughts about Joe Carter. There's a lot of thoughts about George Bell. There's a lot of thoughts about Jose Bautista. It's amazing how generationally this is different when it comes to baseball and the Blue Jays.
Why should we be surprised with what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is doing?
Because he had a really rough September. And probably the best thing that happened to Vlad was the Blue Jays winning the division, and they had 6 days off, and the rest helped him a ton. And he also went into the lab and kind of tweaked a couple of things. But remember this, and I touched on it earlier, this is the face of the franchise. This is the face of baseball in Canada. Like, if you go to Montreal today and you just say Expos, there are 3 Expos in franchise history that matter more than anybody else. It's Gary Carter, Larry Walker, and it's Vladimir Guerrero. Like, Vlad carries with him lineage and Canadian baseball history. He was born in Montreal. When they signed him as a kid, as a teenager from the Dominican 10 years ago, there was promise from that moment that his dad made the Hall of Fame, and Vlad's going to be even bigger and better. And then after a rough September, what does he do? He arrives and does this. You know, there's a difference between a star and a superstar. A superstar lives up to all of it when it matters the most. And Guerrero, through these first 2 games, has done exactly that. Now, can this continue? That becomes the question as the series heads back to the Bronx.
I know the Delano de Shields fan club in Montreal is disappointed.
Yes.
You didn't throw him in there, but we'll let that slide.
Jeff Reardon.
Yeah.
Jeff Reardon with the beard.
Arash, I want to get your take on this because I know what happened in game 1, but to me, this may have decided the series. When Aaron Judge swung on what would have ended up being ball 4 with the bases loaded, which would have brought in a run, which would have tied the game at 2, but instead he swings at a pitch so far out of the zone, then he's out, and then that next inning, the Jays come back and they just blow the doors off. Right there, I'm like, that could be the series in game 1 because their superstar made an error. And Aaron Judge usually doesn't chase. He's having a good series, but that was just so uncharacteristic. That was bad situational baseball from him, not somebody you normally see make those kinds of errors because he's used to the big moments. But the moment, I think, got him.
Well, Maz, I'm going to rewind 4 pitchers prior to that 3-2 count. Bases loaded. 6th inning, 1-run game. Mm-hmm. It's an 0-1 count, and Kevin Gausman absolutely spikes a pitch into the dirt. Now, I am telling you, 90 to 95 times out of 100, that is a wild pitch that's going to the backstop, and that's trouble. That's a run scored. That is maybe the end of Gausman there. Who knows? It's 2-2. Yankees have 2 more in scoring position. That counts 1-1. Alejandro Kirk made an absolute world-class stop there. He absolutely was able to scoop that ball out of the dirt, prevents the run from being scored, which leads to the full count, which leads to all of that. On the same day, Kirk hit a home run of his own, a tear that he's been on through this last week. Very quietly, Alejandro Kirk on both sides, behind the plate and at the plate, has become maybe the most important player on this Blue Jays roster, and he did it behind the plate first that led to the Judge strikeout 4 pitches later.
He looks like the kind of guy that would get no respect. And he's getting no respect.
He doesn't say much. He's kind of an under-the-radar guy. There's not a lot of kind of emotion with him. He's just kind of that Energizer bunny. But he's been vital to managing this pitching staff. Here's another amazing part. We can get into this a little bit tomorrow too, guys. In any other situation, a front office is getting their legs taken right to the fire here. If you have Jose Barrios, Max Scherzer, and Chris Bassett not on the playoff roster, that's over $50 million of salary that's not on your postseason roster. And instead, a kid who went through 5 levels of minor league baseball this year is the one getting it done for you. It's amazing how it's gone with Trey Savage. But, again, we can talk more about this tomorrow. It's been unreal how the Blue Jays, there's no linear path to winning and success. But, man, that is a wild one.
Tomorrow for the Yankees, you get Rodon. If I'm the Yankees, because who pitched yesterday? Was that Field?
It was Max Fried.
Your
Max Fried,
father-in-law.
sorry.
Yeah.
My father-in-law. Trust me.
It would have been an
I would have
upgrade.
moved up Schlittler just because this could be a very short series, and Schlittler may not even get a chance to pitch. And he looked incredible in the wild card round.
Hard to do it to a kid on 3 days rest.
I know.
That's a tough ask. Who's on the road, all those things. Look, I will say this: I actually think it's advantage Yankees tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. I know this sounds crazy because of how well the Blue Jays bats have gone, etc. Nobody has a scouting report on Trey Savage, just like nobody has really much of a scouting report on Schlittler. And this is part of the whole thing, is that the Yankees hitters were all going back to the dugout, looking at the tablet saying, okay, I need some info on this. I mean, the splitter's so nasty and the release point is so high. But Shane Bieber is a former Cy Young Award winner. He's been in the big leagues for almost a decade. The Yankees know him through the AL when he was with Cleveland before and now with Toronto. There's going to be a book on Bieber. You saw what happened yesterday, guys. Once Savage left the game, the Yankees' bats started to heat up against known commodities, a.k.a. the Toronto bullpen. I still think this series is far from over. Remember, the bat flip game of 10 years ago, the Jays were down 2-0 in that series, came back home, won it in Game 5 on the bat flip. There is a lot of baseball left to go.
Let's leave it at that as a tease for our hit tomorrow. And I'm just looking at Sports Select right now. Yankees are the favorite tomorrow. Toronto on the spread, 0.5, pays 209.
There you go.
We'll see if that moves for tomorrow. I doubt it will, but we'll recap tomorrow. Thanks for doing this on Monday, Arash.
You got it, boys. Exciting times.
Isn't it? How much is
Yeah.
If a guy wanted to go to one of those, like the game yesterday in Toronto, what was the get in the door price?
Get in price. The last I saw was $270 US upstairs. But I'll tell you this: I went for a walk. I know, surprising. Saturday around 11 a.m. for a 4:00 game, and I don't want to say everybody downtown was in blue, but everybody downtown was in blue. Like patios were getting going at around noon for a 4:00 start. Yeah. There's a genuine excitement, and that's before they got off to the start that they've gotten to.
Just like when the Argos play. So we'll recap tomorrow. You're back on. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
You got it. Good boys.
Right on.
Of course.
Little Monday coast to coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money.
Shots fired.
Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533. Okay, we'll go to break. As I watch a guy tie his tie here in downtown Regina, looking into the studio.
Oh.
It's Monday.
Fancy.
And then we're going to go Riders heavy in the next segment. Keep the text messages coming. There are there's some humor on this Monday that people are sending in. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
For Kellen Solar on Monday, anything you need solar, if you're in the livestock business, get in touch with them. Because you can you don't have to run wires and all the power and stuff. Solar power right into the trough, move water without running all that stuff. Kellen Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Okay, so I'm a little bit thrown off here. Kevin from Foam Lake says, completely agree with the nurse thing. Excellent. Kevin in Foam Lake. Is that nurses should be paid whatever they want and they're the first liners, or the Darnell nurse should give money back to the Oilers? I'm confused on which nurse thing, because I kind of went down two different paths. So Kevin, just clarify. Either way, I think I'm correct on both. Nurses, medical profession, EMTs, unbelievable. You guys are...
Okay, well, what about doctors? Should doctors, if you're going to pay nurses unlimited, should the doctors? Okay, but why do you have a different opinion? Okay, but I can just look on your face.
Because the nurses are like, the nurses are grinding. The nurses, I think the doctor can kind of come and go as you please. They go, I got to go look. I got to go get something. I'll be right back.
I don't know. A doctor, if they're listening, may have a differing opinion.
I'm not saying, hey, they're all better than me. That's one thing. I can look myself in the mirror and put myself below all those people, because and teachers too. In your family, you have teachers and you have medical professionals, and in my family, I have teachers and medical professionals. Mm-hmm.
So we get the gamut. There's the pros, there's the cons. There are times when it's go time, but then there's also time when there's a little time to sit around.
This one might not sit well. I also have accountants in the family, and they always feel like they're the smartest ones. Socially awkward one? Yes. Smartest one? I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep that going in a bit. Now, the Riders blew out the Ottawa Red Blacks by 40 points in my mind.
No.
In my mind, it was a blowout.
I know. I have notes.
On the score sheet, it's 20-13. And I wake up after a few too many gin on Friday night, and I go, did they only win by 7 points?
Yeah. So my big weekend notes. I'll read them off to you in order. We don't have to go in order.
Do you want music underneath them? Rush, since they're touring again.
We'll get banned from YouTube if we play copyrighted music. And Rush would be the last band I would choose. Like, give me a Jason Aldean. Did you see Jason Aldean bought Nate Smith as a tour gift for wrapping up their summer tour?
Stay with the notes.
He bought him a rifle, like a giant, looks like a machine gun. I saw it on social media. Anyways, my notes. Number 1, people online saying that Taylor Swift's album sucks. Number 2, the Mark Sanchez story from Indianapolis getting stabbed and arrested. That one is still a head scratcher. And then number 3, the Riders won, but it wasn't enough. So exactly like you, I knew we were going to win. We win by 7 points, and I'm like, I wanted a 50 burger. Like, I wanted a beatdown. I wanted domination. I wanted 460 yards passing. I wanted 5 Trevor Harris touchdowns. I wanted 155 yards AJ Ouellette rushing. I wanted maybe a couple of pick sixes from the defense. I wanted 18 field goals from the new field goal kicker. And we eked out a 2013 win, 14 points scored by the offense.
And 936-6262, there had to be the majority of people in the same boat as us, being like, what was the score?
Yes.
What we intercepted? Didn't it feel like we intercepted him like 15 times? 3's good.
Yes.
And then one of those is a pick 6. So then, hold on. Our offense only scored 14 points?
Trevor Harris had 341 yards passing, but 82 of that was yak yards on that Dante Myers touchdown. So it was kind of, and then Ottawa switched quarterbacks. I like Dustin Crum better than Drew Brown. He brings a spark at least. But And now I'm like, my rider radar is, after that game, I'm like, I am totally off. I have no idea what to think or what's going to happen. Luckily,
professional athletes. Do we feel sorry for Campbell Fair Saturday into today, or do we go, buddy? The one field goal, I said, I was watching with my family. I said, did it look like he had a hockey skate on and he kicked it so sideways? Not that one. That one.
The best one. The best one I saw online to be like, that's the first ever coffin kick on an extra point. It just totally missed it.
What? I kind of feel bad for the guy, but
I do. But for the Brett Lother crowd, careful what you wish for.
Oh, for sure. Now, like, Brett Lother's walking into Mosaic today like Kramer when he had the Technicolor Dreamcoat. He's got swag. I was like, yeah. Hey, by the way, back is fine. The lumbar. I went to the lumbar yard. It's good.
By about 9 o'clock on Friday night, the back was feeling pretty good. Maybe had a stiff whiskey or two in there, put the kid to bed, and he's good. And hey, listen, everybody wanted to see him succeed, but maybe it's a thing. I sent you that tweet that Chris Milo put out. Do I got to start warming up? Milo knows.
We're gonna have him on the show.
Be hard to.
Going to have him on the show tomorrow. By the way.
Oh, nice. It's got to be hard to be a kicker for Rider Nation. I mean, we talk to Durant every week. It's one thing to be the quarterback, and the pressure that would go along with that job. Place kicker for Rider Nation. Oof.
No thanks. I don't know.
If
you're watching the stream, there it is. I think, have we really been hard on our kickers over the year? Like, I'm sure there's times, cyclical. But this year, it's been like, somebody called in. Didn't somebody call into the postgame show and said, AJ, let's do everything else? Can he kick? And there's got to be they're athletes. There's got to be somebody in there that, in case, I know you can gamble. I get that. But that one, the one that the coffin kicked that looked like he kicked the oopie, if anyone remembers from KFC back in the day, the beach balls that had water in it. How does that happen? Like, that thing is...
Okay, so in Campbell Fair's defense, because some people, they had no idea. He hasn't been able, since he's tried to be a pro athlete, been able to crack a roster. He's had tryouts, but he's never made it. So this was his first ever profession in a game. Now, there are people, since we have 38 Canadian receivers, and Kean Schaefer-Baker looked good, by the way, in his first game back. I thought he did. He did. Played well.
Yep.
Since we have 30 Canadian receivers, what if you went and got a proven American? Yes, you're going to have to change it, but if it means solid, I get why it is a Canadian spot at the moment, but some teams, look at Montreal and Winnipeg, they're using a global spot. It all depends. If you want a guy with seasoning, if you want somebody that's an up-and-comer like a Campbell Fair, and you want to keep it Canadian, what happened on Friday may happen again. All right? Because sometimes all is well in practice, but when the lights come on, could you imagine if that was at home in front of the Mosaic crowd?
Oh.
Poor guy.
Oh.
Poor guy.
Oh.
Like, could you imagine?
If that one kick is at Old Taylor Field, it ends up in that green 2-story house across the street. Which I always thought there should be seats on top of that and advertising, but that's besides the point. Oh, see, Sai's coming in saying, I think the kicking issue might be the holder. Now, Sai, if you've ever kicked a football, it can be, but not that bad. Like, it's not like they're putting it sideways on the ground with no tee. Like, it is still fairly, and this is their job. Like, that's got to be nerves. Golfers, hey, I've done it. When you hosel one, especially with a wedge, and it goes directly sideways, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, I just didn't start playing this sport. How does that happen? It's got to be the same thing to a point. Sai's also saying, I feel we should have more points, but also feel Ottawa's defense is probably a lot better than we figured, and they were playing for their season and their careers. I don't know. I think for our offense only scored 14 points. That baffles me. So we can look at stats if we want to be stat guy and girl and go, well, but Trevor Harris did throw for a lot of yards and he did do this. I'm like, come on.
It seemed like AJ Ouellette only had, 56 yards, but it seemed like he had the ball all the time because he was doing the third down and short yardage. He was running. Like, dude, I just hope we don't burn him out in these next 3 games before the playoffs because he is our Mr. Everything guy right now. Yeah. And I'm like, man, he is him and Dante Myers and Antoine Brooks Jr., 2 guys who I identified last year at training camp. I'm like, there's something there. They all 3 showed out. Like that Myers is just solid. If he does have his deal coming up in the offseason, if he's on like a 2-year rookie deal, whoever his agent is, probably already saying, nope, he's a legitimate threat for the Riders.
Same
or any
agent
team.
as Darnell Nurse.
Nice.
We get to talk to running backs coach Andrew Harris in hour 2. And one of the questions I'm going to ask him is his thoughts on load management. And when does that come into play? I don't expect a total open answer, but I want to ask it anyway. That's coming up in hour 2. Hey, at the end of the day, 1-0, win's a win. We got off the mini schneid of losing 2. The receivers, like you said, were great. And we'll get a whole lot more. We got some audio coming up. Can we, we're going to go to, Carlson said we got to go to break. We do have some injury updates, status of Sales and Milligan. Maybe we'll play that right after the break. It's a sports cage. This is a quick one. We're back right away.
That was not good.
We're back literally in a minute and a half. We're streaming at sportscage.com and around 620 CKRM.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at SaskToday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at SaskToday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
The care your family receives in hospitals, schools, and community programs comes from SEIU West members who live in your community. We're united around something simple. When working people have what they need to do their jobs well, everyone benefits. Our conditions of work are your conditions of care. For more information, visit seiuwest.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
Oiler fans, you got to be excited. Connor McDavid signing a 2-year extension. Only 12.5 for the Oil. Going to free up a lot of money next year and the year after. Congratulations. Power rankings for our CFL coming up in the next hour. Grey Cup futures from Sports Select. Riders are now the favorites. 3-5 for the Riders. Montreal, Hamilton, then BC, actually. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed American defensive back Nafis Lyon. Coach Mace on the signing. We'll get it in a second. Lyons 5'9", 185, joins the Riders. 4 years of CFL experience, spending time with Edmonton before being traded to the Alouettes. He won the 2023 Grey Cup champion. Here's Mace on Lyon. Huh? Major League Baseball, Jays in New York tomorrow, trying to eliminate the Yankees. Dodgers, Phillies, they're going at it today. Brewers host the Cubs. National Football League Week 5 ends tonight with the Chiefs in Jacksonville. And the Sportscage.com poll, what was the most satisfying sports story of the weekend? There's a number of them there. You can vote at Sportscage.com. Don't forget to sign up for the Insider. You can win tickets to the Rider game, tour of Mosaic Stadium, meet Wes, Luke, and the broadcast team, and a whole lot more. The Insider Report at Sportscage.com. That is the ticker for Reliance Heath. Bundle and save right now. Rent a new water heater and softener together. $400 cash back. Call on Reliance today. We got here. Let's hear Mace, because Roland Milligan Jr., that didn't look good.
Well, it didn't look good.
Ooh.
No. And I'm like, oh no. I looked, I'm like, is that Milligan? And before they had said his name, I'm like, that is not what we need in this kind of nothing game in Ottawa where it's just not awesome. And I'm like, oh no. Because remember a couple of years ago with no Roland Milligan, what happened to the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Yeah.
Turn out the lights.
And Marcus Sales, we don't need that. Coach Mace did talk today about the status of both players. Yeah. And you know, no Tavon Campbell still. And obviously we want, make sure you're a Hyundai, Tavon, before you come back. But are we okay?
One of the Okay, so the Riders won, which is great. Hey, 1-0 and 1-0. We're 11-4. One more game. We clinched the home playoff game. But the other thing too, you have to take into account, Hamilton won, and they looked good. Like Bo had his swagger back, and Bo was slinging it around. They were making it look easy.
They are so two-faced.
I know no they can't be trusted.
Yes.
And then, but that's one concern. But the bigger concern is in Vancouver, British Columbia. Farhan said it last week. Look at with what ease the BC Lions offense is going up and down the field with Buck Pierce and Nathan Rourke, sustaining drives, staying on the field forever. And then the defense, they don't have to play a lot of defense these now. All Matthew Betts does, what does he have, 14 quarterback sacks now? And I'm like, uh-oh. They're reminding me of what Montreal did 2 years ago. They're peaking at the right time. And it's all coming together. And Rourke looks good. Running, throwing. That's what has me concerned. Is, yeah, the Riders won. But I want to see the offense that we had in the first 5-6 weeks of the season where everything was made to look easy.
Yeah.
Because that's where BC's at this point.
Game tape now. Coach, they're coaching us. You know, it's there isn't a lot of, well, no, you still have some plays that you're keeping close to your chest vest for sure. But teams are, as they say, they get paid too, right? So it's not going to be easy the whole year long. Dion texted in, Prairie Land Rentals text line. That signing of Lyon is huge. I love this guy with my Eskimos until Jones traded him to Montreal. Very solid veteran and solidifies that backfield and can replace vets. I like it too. I don't know him that. Me too. I don't know much about it, but I'm like, yeah, that's solid. Good job, O'Day.
He'd play well in the Grey Cup here. But when I saw the email come through, I instantly went, uh-oh, this is not good. You're not signing guys off the street that haven't played football in 2025 unless there's an injury situation. And I'm like, that means Sales or Milligan probably isn't playing this week. And they already have enough injuries in the secondary. I'm like, okay, there's a good chance Lyon will probably play on Friday against Toronto, which unfortunately, no Nick Arbuckle, because he took a hard hit in that Hamilton game, which knocked him out early in the first quarter. And then you get Seth Daggy, the backup. No disrespect, Seth, but as we Rider fans, it would be a different game if Arbuckle's in there slinging it around.
Yes, Seth might have his bag full coming into Mosaic. Bag. Campbell Fair, what is he doing right now? I want to, poor guy. People are texting in.
Lothar was
People
back.
are texting in. They feel sorry for him as well.
Well, and I thought that if there was more situations, they would have put him out there to because it's game situation. But let him try and kick field goals, whether that be at the end or just anywhere, just to get him out there. Maybe if it's that confidence thing, especially after he missed the early convert, because we scored on our first drive, which is crazy. What was that stat? We scored more points in this game than the past 5 first quarters. We drove down the field. That's why I thought, I'm like, all right, this is a 50 burger tonight. We just scored on our first drive. It's going to be 52-19 Riders. It's going to be over by halftime. I'm going to be able to fold laundry in peace without the kids.
You didn't take my advice? You didn't take my advice? They can't fold their own laundry? Hey, Uncle Barney says, time to start folding your own laundry, kid. Sorry, especially
Uncle
the
Barney,
oldest one.
If you missed the show 20 minutes ago, Uncle Barney was calling an Uber for his son because he can't take the bus or walk home from school.
It's about 5 kilometers and there's no bus. So, Heather, sorry. Thanks for that. Yeah, be quiet.
Regina Public Transit does a fine job. There's always a bus.
Heather, we did have some audio issues on the YouTube. Sorry about that. We fixed it. Ed liked it. He says, can Nafis Lion kick too? I like our listeners get a little cheeky out there. Okay, so we got Andrew Harris in the Coaches Show coming up to start hour 2. We'll be back. It is the Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Saskatchewan has introduced changes to the Subsurface Mineral Royalty Regulations Act to help expand the province's lithium industry. The new rules will create a consistent royalty framework for lithium and other minerals from natural brine aquifers. Energy and Resources Minister Colleen Young says the framework ensures both investor confidence and public benefit. The plan includes a 3% royalty rate and a 2-year holiday for new production, supporting responsible development and future growth across Saskatchewan's resource sector. It was very warm last month in Saskatchewan, according to Environment Canada's monthly weather stats. Meteorologist Brian Proctor says every weather station was within the top 10 for warmest month on record, with La Ronge being the warmest spot.
Where the mean temperature was 14.6 degrees versus the normal of 10.2, so 4.4 degrees above normal values, and it was the warmest in 62 years in La Ronge that we have information for.
Regina recorded an average temperature of 15.9 degrees, which is 3.5 degrees above the historical average for September and the 4th warmest month on record. Yorkton recorded its 6th warmest month with an average temperature of 15 degrees. Saskatchewan will mark Agriculture Week from October 5th to 11th. Ag Minister Darrell Harrison says the celebration recognizes the province's farmers, ranchers, and agribusinesses that help feed the world. This year's theme, #CelebrateAg, encourages conversations about food and those who produce it. Farm and Food Care Saskatchewan is partnering with the government to host online campaigns and community events that build understanding between consumers and the agriculture industry. The head of Alberta's Teachers Union says the province-wide strike by thousands of his members is about drawing a line in the sand on underfunding and overcrowding that has become so egregious kids can't learn. Alberta Teachers Association President Jason Schilling says teachers are fighting for smaller class sizes and more resources to deal with classroom complexity.
And we refuse to be back in this same fight 5 or 10 years from now. We're striking to break the cycle and demand lasting change for future generations of students and for future generations of teachers.
Finance Minister Nate Horner continues to urge the union to return to the bargaining table with a reasonable proposal and says the government is providing online resources to ensure kids can keep learning and financially compensating parents during the strike. And a slew of Toronto Blue Jays fans are flocking south in order to catch the team try to win Game 3 of their American League Division Series against the New York Yankees. Ryan May, who founded a social media group called Fan First, says his group will be there wearing their Blue Jay blue proudly.
If you're going to represent the diehards, you got to be a diehard. So we were always going to go. When we found out it was New York, we were pretty excited.
May says if the Jays win in New York, he's expecting some chirps and some hostility from Yankee fans. May and some fellow fans plan to drive all night from Toronto to New York City in time for Game 3 tomorrow. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low down to -4. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny, high of 17. Tomorrow night, clear, low down to 6. Wednesday, looking sunny and a high of 20. Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 16. Friday, game day, sunny and a high of 20. Currently in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky. It is 11.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to Hour 2. Like he said, for Kellen Solar on this Monday, Maz is with me. Colson is in the pocket. Your text messages are welcome. Prairie Line Rentals text line 936-6262. Gary says we got to save that 50 burger for the Grey Cup game. There's a few on Darnell Nurse here that I want to read, and then there was one on the timeshare. The timeshare. Who is that from? I was going to read it. James. Yeah, here it is. He says. Timeshare story. 28 years ago, Fernie BC timeshare pitch. My wife had to take our two little kids outside. They were out of control. A big guy came in. Where's his wife? Just yelling. Stop the presentation and go find her. I was third man in. Terrible approach, man. I'm out of here. Out of the contest. Thanks for the free stay, and I walked out. True story. Yeah, if you ever want to get out of a timeshare, just be single. Even if you're with your significant other, be like, nah, we're not together. We're just doing something on the road. James Hamilton, he also says BC 12 can come into Mosaic November 8th when it's -5 and windy. Here's a turtleneck. Nate, good luck.
Okay. Have you seen that Horvath that they picked up? That he's like a bigger version of AJ Ouellette that they've found for their running game to go along with James Butler. I think that Buck Pierce is smart enough and played in Winnipeg long enough. By the way, Rider Foundation 50 trip this week, trip for two, is to Winnipeg to see the Grey Cup, couple nights at the Alt Hotel, 2 tickets to the game, or take $4,000 cash.
What are you doing?
I'm taking the money all day long. I am not going to sit outside in Winnipeg. I don't care. Oh.
Riders5050.ca. Also for the next 2 hours, or just under 2 hours, we're playing SaskTel Pick the Score. Let's roll. Score Friday, Argos Riders, kickoff 7 p.m., 936-6262. Let us know what you think the score is. Closest to also has a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. I'm gonna wait till Thursday to predict my score.
Oh, I I have big breaking news in the telecommunications or in the telecom world. You'll be proud of me, Barney. Connor McDavid signs. No, Connor McDavid signs a giant contract today. Chris Mazurek officially tears up a giant contract. I canceled our landline at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Everybody has a cell phone now. The landline is completely gone.
What was their pitch to hang on to you, to keep you? What did they offer?
Nothing really. They just kept asking if I wanted to add more to the cell phone packages. Well, hey, I noticed you don't have this, this, and this. And I'm like, and I was kind of joking around. I'm like, listen, this landline decision has been about 2 decades in the making. It's a pretty emotional day for me. So let me just deal with this. If I need the extra data, the bytes, the enhanced blah, 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 I'll get back to you, okay? Thank you. Plus, I know in a few months, you'll probably raise the rates, and I'll just be paying you more for exactly what I have right now.
Are you just going to keep the phone around, though, for a bit? Like, just because it's still new, it's still fresh, just like keep it?
Well, no, the kids are like, can we play with that now? And I'm like, yeah, go crazy. Go nuts. We are landline free. Mark this day down. This is October 6, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Another landline in Saskatchewan. Sayonara.
Let's get into the Coaches Show.
It's time for the Sportscage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Coach Andrew Harris is joining us from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Do you remember when you got rid of your landline?
Oh, yeah. Well, it actually started because, when I was a kid, we used to do lots of prank calls to landlines. So I'm like, Mom, we should probably gas this thing because there's going to be some repayment coming back to you, and I don't know what they're going to say. So.
Okay, what was a good scenario? Andrew Harris, okay, so when you would prank call, are you calling from, is it a pizza place? Are you calling from a repair shop? Like, what was the prank? Like, what? You must have had a solid 1-2 in the playbook is what you would go to.
Yeah, the biggest, I know me and my buddies would have some drinks and just, we'd call random numbers and we just do it like the star 69 or whatever it was to block the number. And sometimes after, a few calls, we'd forget to do it. So, we'd show up and we'd get callbacks after. And the whole point, we'd place bets and do little bets on who could keep the people on the phone the longest and just get them to start talking about whatever. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Okay.
The things we do when we're young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's so great. Hey, we were talking in hour 1, and I know 1-0, right? That's the plan in Ottawa. But I wake up Saturday morning, I'm like, felt like the Riders won by 40.
Yeah. I mean, again, for us coaches and the team, you always want to get more out of the game. And I think anytime you go, especially in an East game or West game, to get a win on the road, it's always tough to do. You look at their defense, you look at in Ottawa's defense, and with the things they do so well. And I think we left a lot of meat in the bone. Especially my group. I have high expectations for them. They have high expectations for themselves. So for us, and this is the most crucial part of the season where you need to be peaking at the right time. It doesn't really matter what your record is to get you into the spot you need to be, and any given Sunday or Saturday afternoon in the playoffs, anyone can come out with that. So you really got to be peaking, hitting your stride, and for us in the running back room, we know how crucial the run game is going to be. When it gets a little chillier, and today was a great start of that. You woke up and it was in the minuses, and I took a deep breath when I got out of my house, and I was like, oh yeah, we're getting close. So it gets this is an exciting time for us, and we're looking forward to the next challenge in Toronto coming down to Mosaic.
Andrew, it seemed like when you check the stat line, AJ Ouellette had just over 50 yards, but it seemed like he had the ball pretty much the whole time on offense, running the ball, short yardage. He was doing everything. To me, he's the MVP right now. Like, AJ Ouellette is the guy, and is that just me from the outside, or are you seeing that too? Like, he is so key to what everything is happening on this offense these days.
Yeah, I think, to me, you mentioned, running the ball. I think what makes him our MVP is his play on the interception. It's easy for guys to, when things happen like that, just kind of give up and maybe just run out slow. But as soon as you saw him, the play right here. As soon as you saw him, and I think he realized if I was a DB, he might have gave up a little sooner, but he realized it was a guy he could probably catch, and he hawks him, and he looks like he's running 60 miles an hour there, but it's just because the guy in front of him is a little bit slower. But no, great play on him, and that's the kind of attitude that he brings. The kind of determination and the no quit attitude that he brings. So to me, that's what and it's every week. He's going through things, throughout the season. He's been nicked up in games and finished, and we'd have to run the clock out. And I'm looking at him like, "Are you good? Do you need me to spell you?" And he's giving me the finger and waving me off. So he wants to be in the game as much as he can, and he's definitely a dog in that aspect. So to me, yeah, aside from blocking the way he does in pass pro, when he's asked to catch the ball in the backfield, he's pretty darn good at that as well. But yeah, his run game this year has been amazing, and and he's still getting better, which is great to see.
Do you guys are buddies, old teammate? Yeah. Do you have to keep him grounded maybe on the flight home? Like, do you say, hey, if that was a DB, I don't think you're getting him?
Yeah, I mean the conversations between us are again a lot of closed doors. If I see you guys offer one time, I'll give you some better ones. But yeah, I like to challenge him as much as possible, and even when, and I think I mentioned this last time, if he gets under, we always have goals for each game. I'm like, hey man, yeah, you hit 100 yards, go get 150, go get 150 now, yeah. And when he does it, and we're watching film, and I was like, how we're breaking down.
Oh,
my phone. Sorry, there you go.
Oh,
got me now.
Yeah, we got
good.
You. Yeah.
Okay, that was the Rogers calling me. They're trying to get me to get a landline again.
Somebody's pranking you. Since payback.
Yeah, get me back now. But yeah, so yeah, just leaving some meat in the bone again, and it's just challenging him as best as possible, but and also in a respectful way. And even when I have to be hard on him, it comes from a friendship and love, and it's a great dynamic to have, especially as a first year coach.
As a guy that played so long in the league, so successful in the league, and the similarities, what's your take now as a coach, maybe, and is it different than when you're a player of maybe some load management?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for, my goal this year was, and with the coaches talk with Mace, is to get AJ to play, full season and keep him healthy. And we've I thought we've done a pretty good job of spelling him in and just even load management throughout the week. I try to push him really hard on day one, probably more than he likes it. And I know he's gone down to Mueller, and he usually goes to quarterbacks after Indy, and he's not saying the great things about me at that point in time. But again, we set a standard before the season of how we're going to work. And how we're going to push them and the group, and the whole premise was how this is going to pay off in November, and that's the goal. So at times, it's going to be tough on them, but and now the load management is, hopefully we can get into a point where we can clinch here and give him a little bit of rest, and but again, he still wants to get the most out of the season and continue to get better. And the only way you get better is by playing games. I've been on teams we've clinched really early, and we sit starters going into into big games, and it's tough not to lose that edge. Going into playoffs. So there's that dynamic that we'll have to assess and look at as we go on here.
The final three games: Toronto, Winnipeg, and BC. This is 7 degrees of separation with Andrew Harris and all of that. Obviously, you played in Toronto with Dinwiddie. Winnipeg, we know. I want to ask you about BC and Buck Pierce, because it looks like Buck and Nathan Rourke have got that offense humming. What makes Buck Pierce such a great coach?
Yeah, I think I mean, I played with Buck in BC, and obviously, he coached in Winnipeg. Buck was a great player, so understands the game well. He's been around great offensive coordinators that he's learned from as well. But to me, Buck's biggest asset is understanding what his players are good at and what they're not good at, putting them in situations to be successful. And you can kind of see that learning curve in the early parts of the season. And now watching the BC's offense, and just seeing how they're clicking on all cylinders. It just seems to me like he's found out what his receivers, quarterback, running back, what they're good at, how to utilize the most out of them and put them in the best situations possible. And he's doing a great job of that. And then on the flip side, on the defense, again, Benny was a guy that was my DC in BC as well, and Ryan Phillips, the guy I played with as well too. And understanding what those guys do, I think they're very consistent in how they do things, which might be a good thing for us. But at the end of the day, either any of those games are gonna be exciting for me again with the old teammates, coaches, and so forth. But for us, again, the mindset is just purely the focus of going 1-0 and not really worrying about what everyone else is doing, what we're doing over here in the green and white.
What's your real take on AJ doing the short yardage? Do you have a say in that, or was that something that came from somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, he's good under center. And if a perfect world, we would have Tommy Stevens in there because he's probably the best to ever do it in this league. But I mean, AJ's doing a hell of a job of doing it and running it, and you can do. I was kind of telling him that the other day, and the more you can do for this team and be an asset, all the better. Personally, for myself, his average is going down, so it doesn't look as good. So I'm kind of like, let's get him out of there. But he's doing a great job. And even too, he did leave some meat on the bone, even in that aspect. So the better that he can do at this is probably going to make him a better running back and understand things a little easier and see the game a little more. So he's in the game. He's got the ball in his hands. And even too, we had a point in the game in Ottawa where he missed somebody and he makes a great move and gets us the first down. So again, if he's our best player or one of our best players, you always want the ball in their hands in crucial situations. So it's great for us overall as a team.
Unfortunately, last weekend, Nick Arbuckle got hurt in the Argonaut game. Now, whether or not he's going to play this week when they come to Saskatchewan, so it may be Daggy under center. But Ryan Dinwiddie, we've had him on the show. I really like the guy. Like, he's passion, he's fire, he's really good. What worries you about that Argonaut team coming to town? They're out of the playoffs, so now they're playing for jobs. The record's not great, but to me, they've probably been one of the best 11 teams in the CFL as far as they didn't look like it at times. That's got to worry you guys as a coaching staff, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at what Ryan Dinwiddie did with the team, like they lost a lot of key pieces over the last 2 years, and especially last year. To start the season without your starting quarterback, but a guy you're familiar with. The O-line, guys are coming in and out. The key for me is, they are really good at, throwing the football and mixing it up way, and they got a great defense. So, again, guys are fighting for jobs. There's still a sense of pride. And I know for Dinwiddie coming here, especially with the all the relationships he has with Mueller, Mace, and the rest of the staff, he's gonna be fired up and passionate about this. And it's funny because even the coaching staff from Toronto, we all first name basis, all got their names saved in their phones, and so it's like buddies going against buddies. So it's gonna be like a backyard competition. And
prank calls. Prank calls on Thursday night.
Yeah, prank calls.
Thursday night to the hotel.
Yeah,
prank calls.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, he's fired up at the worst of times, but it's going to be great.
Coach Andrew Harris is joining us here on the Coaches Show on the Sportscage today. My last one is, you've been on a number of championship teams. What similarities are you seeing with this Rider team, especially right now, to some of those teams that you were on?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, there's always gonna be similarities. I felt like I feel like this team is just, we're built a little bit differently in the way we do things, throughout the week. We're built a little differently in the way we, attack things. But the big thing that I'm seeing now is the togetherness, and the guys are playing for each other. And that's ultimately the biggest thing is, do your players, do the guys care about the guy next to them and not their own personal success? Are guys willing to sacrifice their bodies, their time, the way the way they're feeling on any given day, to come out here for the cause, and the cause is to get better and go 1-0. And that's where I see the biggest similarity. And even things happen throughout a season. Relationships. There's 70 guys in this locker room, and it's hard really to get to know everyone. But just from what I'm seeing with the players, I feel like we're coming together as a team, as a unit, as a whole, and it's seeing offensive guys hanging with defensive guys, and usually like everyone kind of sticks with their positional group, and it's kind of a cliquey that way with lots of teams. But I'm seeing just guys, just whether they're talking in the locker room, hanging out, or just hearing that they hung out and did whatever on off day. That's what you want to see, guys coming together and really becoming a brotherhood. And to me, that's one of the most important things that you need on a championship team or a successful team is guys that are just willing to scratch, claw and nail for each yard and do whatever it takes to get the win for their brother beside them.
All right, last one from me, because anytime we have a former player on that's been away from the game, we always like to ask if it wasn't a prank phone call from Coach Mace, and because he calls you Drew, we know we'll call you Drew. Mm-hmm. We need you to suit up this weekend. Could you mentally and physically? Could you still go out there and run out of the tunnel to bring him out if needed, an emergency basis?
Well, it was funny because we were getting beat up at running back a little while ago, and that conversation was kind of mentioned. But I guess they made a rule a few years ago that you can't have a coach become a player unless he sits out a year. So that's not even possible. But beginning of the season, I was feeling like I was pretty lean still, and I could maybe do it. But now, these long days and all the fried chicken that Mace brings in for us on our great game plan days, I've just reached the 230 mark, and I might be a little bit overweight now to get in there. I can pass protect and maybe catch a ball or two out of the backfield, but you're not getting much out of me in the run game. That's for sure.
Oh, I was pushing for that. I remember that, and we had like a whole week of like, Coach Harris, that's who's going in. Let's just get him one game. But then the fried chicken problem. What about pierogies? Are you mixing in any pierogies into that diet?
It's funny because we had pierogies today, actually. I only had 5.
Hey, 5. By the way, I love that tarp. That must be new. That's a nice, if you're watching the stream, that's a nice hoodie.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, that is
nice.
That's sharp. All right.
Yeah, they do a great job with the gear. New Era's killing it.
Yeah. Okay. 936-6262. Anytime you want to prank us, have some fun. It won't be immature. It'll just be fun. You go ahead. Coach, thanks for doing this today.
Awesome, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Coach.
See you soon.
Yeah. That was fun. Coach Andrew Harris. Yeah, look behind the curtain. See, they're humans. He used to make prank calls. Jeffrey on the text line messaged in. Jeffrey was more like me. He made prank calls from payphones. That's how I used to roll. I used to do them from the payphone.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, collect call. Be like, help me, I'm in trouble. I need help.
Because there's no way back then there's any kind of tracking from a payphone. Like the only off chance is if a cop happened to be driving by as you're hanging up and running away. Other than that, you were so free and clear. It was like shooting off Roman candles at cars when you were in a park and you could just run into the park as they were driving by. The chances of getting caught were slim to none. And remember when like gas stations used to sell fireworks? Like, why wouldn't you buy Roman candles on a Friday night? Drive around and shoot them out of the car window.
The Star 6-7 invention, probably one of the top of the 20th century. I would say it's got to be, because whoever had a Maestro, you couldn't prank them. If they were rich enough to have a Maestro, they knew where the call was coming. But then Star 6-7 came out, new ball game when it came to prank calls. Yeah, that's good stuff. That was a lot of fun. Okay, let's go to break here. We'll come back with some clutch performer What else we got online? We got to run down some local hockey in the area, what happened. We'll keep talking Riders, Blue Jays, and Connor McDavid and Darnell Nurse, who should give money back to the Edmonton Oilers. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Elevate your baling experience with the Heston by Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler. With a dependable, long-lasting design for challenging conditions and high-speed baling, this machine features swing-away net loading and an optional hydraulic drop floor for easy obstruction clearing. Quality hay production starts today with Heston by Massey Ferguson. See the Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. For more information, visit nicksservice.com.
October is Customer Appreciation Month at Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing. It's pretty easy. Just submit your receipt for your corporate or team apparel order, and you could be one of the lucky winners at month end to receive up to $1,000 back towards your purchase. Locally owned, community-oriented, and customer-focused. And of course, don't forget about their price match guarantee. Extreme Hockey and Sport, Umbrella Marketing, 1425 McIntyre Street, and conveniently located in the Cooperator Center.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Lindsay had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
Living in very rural Saskatchewan, Brian makes it really easy to stay connected virtually, which is perfect for our busy young family.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I've actually recommended him to a few people just because he's trustworthy and he's very easy to work with.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Okay, the easy one would be Vladimir Guerrero in his Grand Slam. First postseason Grand Slam in Blue Jay history, as Arash Madani alluded to in hour one. But my clutch performer, the New York radio play-by-play guys on the Grand Slam from Vladimir Guerrero. Here it is.
So you got Jimenez at third, Straw at second, Springer at first, one out. Guerrero at the dish at a 2-1 count. He's looking to unload right here. 2-1. Pitch. He did. Deep drive, left field, Grand Slam.
I love it. Just nothing. Just nothing.
Well, they can't get Vladimir Guerrero out, and that one, as we just said, it's not optimal to have to pitch to Vladdy with the bases loaded. 415 feet. Went out of this building at 111 miles an hour, and it's 9-0 here. Yankees being no hit by a 22-year-old.
That was so deadpan. You can just picture the guy.
I know. And what I don't get is they've intentionally walked guys before that are threats without basis. So it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He eats the Yankees alive. Just walk him and give up that run and then move on and then just go from there. Why would pitch to him in that situation? Especially when you're down 5-0 already and you know like this could be just a powder keg and then it turned into a powder keg. And trust me, I saw that on my phone and I had to do a double take. I'm like, what? It's 9-0? My clutch
Grand
performer, how can you not love Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Yesterday, that game in Seattle, breaking news as someone who's on a sports show, I didn't realize till yesterday that Cooper Kupp doesn't play for the LA Rams anymore. He's a Seattle Seahawk. All right, that's on me. But Baker just willing that team and the comeback, and then they're down, and then they get the interception, they kick the field goal. You got to love a guy like that. He's been kicked around from place to place to place, and it looks like he's just Mr. Clutch, and it looks like he's having a great time, and it looks like his teammates love him. He's a guy. He would be great in Rider Nation. That would be a guy that after a game, if you got him out, he'd drink 20 beers with the fans. Easy. And make prank phone calls with Andrew Harris once they decided to do the after party.
Colson, you got one?
Do you imagine Andrew Harris?
Yeah, I got one. Easy one. We've already mentioned him a couple times today. AJ Ouellette with like that probably 80-yard run. Like, yeah, Coach Harris was busting his chops a little bit for having to chase down a D lineman. If he was a DB, probably giving it up. But running 80 yards. And then they only got a field goal out of that. So potentially game-saving there. Huge.
And I was, when I watched that, can you play it one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. I was watching it. Like, at one point, he's about 7 yards, 6-7, behind. Yeah, like, that's great effort. And I thought for sure that guy was going to fumble when he goes for the swat.
Knock it out. Yeah, he was going to knock it out and get the fumble, and the Riders would have got the ball back.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, in Edmonton or in Ottawa, do they have a screen? Did they have a screen in that end zone? Because you've seen this before, Barney. When the player is actually looking up at the screen, and they can see what's happening. I was wondering if there was a screen in Ottawa's end zone where he could see that Ouellette was chasing him down.
Clutch performers are for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Okay, one more. Forgot about this one. AAA U18 boys hockey, AAA midget, clash top two teams probably into overtime last night. Pat Canadians and Moose Jaw. Next time these guys play, go watch. Maddox Schultz, the 5-4 in overtime for the Pat Canadians. Maddox Schultz, 4 goals.
Only?
Liam Pugh had 2 assists. Maddox and Liam aren't in the lineup for the Pat Canadians. Different ball game. No offense. Sorry, Haji and everyone there. But when those 4 goals, 5-4 win, and some of these other teams are probably like, oh, we played Pat Canadians. Oh, Maddox and Liam are playing with the Pats. Perfect.
Speaking of the Pats, first win on the weekend, beat Swifty 4-2. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And they held the lead for a long time too. Like they were up in that game and they held the lead. And which I'm like, all right, that's the sign of a team that's getting better. That they're putting it together. They got a lead and then they held a lead. Because we're going to have decent.
Ellis Mayette on the show in hour 3. Talking about the season, and he's got to be excited. He's Lumsden/Deer Valley kid. He's back in the fold. Edmonton Oil Kings are leading the Eastern Conference, 10 points. PA's got 9. Then Medhat, the Blades. Are the Blades ever going to be bad again? Whatever they're doing up there, good on. Because Maz, you and I grew up there. There were some lean. I covered them that one year. They won like 6 games.
I know, but they got to win a Memorial Cup sooner or later. Like that's and it's not like they're getting there to even have a shot at it, but that's their thing.
The surprising one is in the Eastern Conference, the team that's still doesn't have a regulation win. The Brandon Wheat Kings.
That is odd. They're always usually pretty good.
And they were supposed to be one of the favorites, especially in the East, going into the year. Little SJHL, I noticed. Weyburn now tops in the Bungie division. 4-3 win over Melville on Saturday. Melville doubled them up 8-4 on Friday, so that would have been a good series to watch. Shout out to Warman, who almost gave Flin Flon their first loss of the season. It was the Flon 4-3 in a shootout. And we had Jacob from the SJHL on the program last week. He was talking about how Warman's embraced that team. So Flin Flon sitting with a 6-0 record in the SJHL. The SJHL report will be coming up on Thursday, brought to you by Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor for GP Financial Services, locally owned with a team of financial planning specialists. And then on the female, we might as well go here. Female, AAA U18, Weyburn shutting out PA 3-0. It was the Wildcats from Swifty shading the Regina Rebels 4-3. And Battleford, again, the Sharks. Wonder why they went with the Sharks in Battleford. Jackfish Lake.
Are there shark? Yeah, Jackfish Lake is now full of great
Cochin.
whites, hammerheads.
Cochin, big shark country.
Oh my, no. That bar at Cochin, when it used to be open, keep your head on a swivel because it would just turn into fight night.
The Lighthouse.
Ridiculous, dangerous. Oof.
I never went to the bar in Cochin. Stayed at that Jackfish Lodge though. Played in a native tournament in Soto once, and they put us up in that lodge. It was unreal. I was like, wow, this is nice. Anyways, the Sharks are leading 4-0 in the lady female division. So there's a little rundown of local hockey. How about shout out Regina Rams? Mark McConkey squad, another win. Calgary at home. Is this a special year for the Rams? I don't want to jinx it though either. I don't want if tell me to shut up if I shouldn't be talking about it.
Well, yeah, Andrew Harris mentioned it. Now you wake up and it's minus something or other and the weather changes. Now it's football weather. Now we'll find out if it's a special year. Because when everything is going to start to grind because the conditions are going to be a little different, you're going to see some teams that may just pack up the tents. Be like, now for this, let's get on the bus.
Well, that's why one of our text messages on the Prairie Line Rentals text line about BC coming in, turtleneck weather, when it's cold. I don't think that'll matter.
Not with Buck Pierce as your head coach. Not with Buck Pierce as your head coach. You played long enough in this league, and he was in Winnipeg. And like Farhan even said, they're building a cold weather football team that can run the ball. And Andrew Harris even said, Buck's figured out what everybody's good at and what everybody's not good at, and he's exploiting that. This is that Horvath guy. This is the bigger AJ Ouellette. Look at him. Similar body style, little bigger, a little taller.
Yeah, he's a big dude,
Looks
man.
like a load.
Would
you want to try and tackle that?
He's a big. Did we ever talk about this? When you think of really big running backs in the CFL, who comes to mind?
Jerome Messam was one of them.
Oh, yes.
He was a load. John Cornish was a bigger running back. He was
Not
hard
for
to
me.
bring down.
Mike Sellers, for me.
Oh, Mike Sellers. Well, when Andrew Harris was talking about eating fried chicken, I'm like, Mike Sellers was fat. And it didn't matter. He could still play.
Milson
Mike
Jones
Sellers. I remember
had
that
a boiler.
Game. Milson
Jones had a boiler, but was good.
I remember when Mike Sellers, whatever game it was, just destroyed the Riders for a couple hundred yards. Like nobody could tackle them.
I remember
it was just
that game.
in one of those dark eras in the 90s. It was just awful. It's a game that should have been blacked out and wasn't. And you're like, the guy's got 200 and some yards, and you're like,
that's what I'm talking. I'm same game probably. That's etched in my mind. Yeah. So
he probably smoked cigarettes on the sideline or in the dressing room at halftime.
Milson Jones, and then Lucius Floyd would spell him because he could only maybe 2 plays and I'm out.
Okay, I want to ask you a question because last night the New England Patriots stunned the NFL. Beating the Buffalo Bills 20-20.
Hold on.
Okay.
Pause right there. Let's go to break, and then let's come back. We'll talk some gambling, some good gambles, some bad bets, sprinkle of the day for Sports Select coming up. Hold that thought, and then I'll tell you what happens. The Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com or on 620 CKRM.
October is Customer Appreciation Month at Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing. It's pretty easy. Just submit your receipt for your corporate or team apparel order, and you can be one of the lucky winners at month end to receive up to $1,000 back towards your purchase. Locally owned, community-oriented, and customer-focused. And of course, don't forget about their price match guarantee. Extreme Hockey and Sport, Umbrella Marketing, 1425 McIntyre Street, and conveniently located in the Cooperator Center.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
In an ideal world, you're already driving one. When you're behind the commands of the Fendt Ideal Combine, you experience a workhorse that takes harvest to task. Real-time monitoring, 485-bushel grain tank that unloads at 6 bushels per second, all backed by a 3-year full machine warranty, plus all scheduled maintenance ensures your harvest doesn't stop. Now that's how you grow bold. See the Ideal Fendt Combine at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Len had questions, he talked to Brian Gawley.
I was with the bank, but they're a little bit too big, a little bit impersonal. I was kind of looking for someone with more of a personal touch, and Brian's a good old Saskatchewan boy and really good guy to deal with.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
I would recommend him to anyone.
Football's in full swing, hockey's heating up, and the baseball playoffs are just around the corner. There's only one place you need to be, Pop Jack's Cathedral. Catch every game on the big screens with 30 beers on tap, Wing Wednesdays, and Pop Jack's famous pub-style beer-battered fish and chips. Or go big with a full rack of ribs. You've earned it. Live sports, cold beer, hot food on the corner of Albert and 13th. Pop Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Back to Sports Cage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Okay, we got to go back to our text messages on the Prairieland Rentals text line, Maz. Back to our prank calls. If you missed it with Coach Andrew Harris of the Riders, we talked prank calls. Most of us used to do them, right? He said pay phone with *67 is the way to go for a prank call. Is the way to go or was the way to go? It's a name texting. I think back in the day, right? We also used to do a lot of Nicky 9-door growing up back home. That's Knock Knock Ginger, isn't it? We're going.
Yeah, I would think.
I think my kids call it
no.
What do they call it now, the kids? Oh, somebody help me.
I can't imagine. So the neighborhood that we grew up in, Saskatoon, was not awesome. A little too dangerous. You didn't play that game because you didn't know if somebody did answer the door, what's on the other side of it. Weapons, animals, just it could be anything.
Yeah. Remember when Dobermans were big?
Could be anything.
We were a big Doberman area.
Sure. Yeah. And I just think now the kids are so into Minecraft and playing on their iPads that the thought of them even leaving the house to even go knock on somebody's door.
No,
I'd be a little inspired, but, just no, because then I'd have to go apologize for them if they got caught, because they would get caught because they wouldn't have crafted. Remember, it was one thing to do it. It was another thing to not get caught. That was that was part 2 of how to be a degenerate growing up in this province, right? It's one thing to try and do it, but it's another thing to completely not get caught.
I want to say it's ding and dash, but that's not it. Anybody with, what's that? Ding dong ditch. Colson, young kid, got it. Ding dong ditch. It'll always be knock knock ginger to me. Hotel room knock knock ginger wasn't a bad game, especially like an Imperial 400 where you're outside. You're in the elements. There's a lot of hiding you can do. You don't really want to see. Luke sent in too. Ding dong ditch. All the young kids are coming here. No, right though? Any kind of motel where you had the outside, so then you could just run to the bush, to the forest, to the river.
I would love to pay you to go do that at the Imperial 400 these days, and they don't call it that anymore. To be like, I will give you body armor, but you have to do 10 different doors. Okay? There's a tactical store somewhere. Weren't they on the radio advertising? Get your tactical gear.
Gary in Regina, talking about big running backs, he brought up Jesse Lumsden. He was big.
Yeah, big dude.
Bobsled guy. Big bobsled guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he
the Canadian Olympic team?
Okay, sprinkle of the day for Sports
Yeah, so
Select.
I had asked you. Yeah, so I asked you. So last night, the Patriots beat the Bills 23-20.
Mm-hmm.
And Drake May played well. He played a good game. But today, there's a lot of people. The Patriots are back. It's the new Tom Brady. The decade is over. Here we go again. This is the new dynasty for the Pats. I'm like, whoa.
No. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional, people. I'm a Patriots fan. Greg from Piffle's Pod. This is his second favorite podcast, apparently. He knows we're not back. We're nothing. Keep your head down. Grind away. We stole that one in Buffalo last night. Buffalo made some bonehead plays.
They did.
Very
They didn't
Josh
play
Allen.
well.
I
hate those uniforms too. They were awful.
It was a 3-point game, which on ProLine is a tie. And I always do my combo tickets on Saturday with Sports Select. And I like to go 4 games, and I try and pick 3 that are going to be 3-point games as ties. Right? So, that one, I left off the board. Yes, I know. Whatever. I hit, though, for starters, holy Baltimore. What? They're 1-4.
That's a bad football team.
How many tickets are ripped up for futures and that people took the Ravens, which you can play futures on Sports Select. But I took the Dolphins and Panthers as a tie. Boom. Tie game. Then I took the Buccaneers and Seahawks as a 3-point game on ProLine. Hit that. But the one that, and I should have went with the Patriots game. I'm like, what are you thinking? The other one was Commanders-Chargers. And the Commanders won 27-10. It was close at halftime. I'm like, well, I'm looking good here. No way, Jose. And then my third game, which I thought was a lock, and I lost 2 of my survivors. I'm out of 4 survivors after the weekend, I'm down to 1. Because I took 2, because whoever plays the Tennessee Titans, if it's the Regina Rams, I'm taking the Rams. No, but the Cardinals and that idiot that dropped the ball at the goal line, the Cardinals somehow lose to the Rams at home by 1 point. Or the Titans, I mean. Titans aren't good. So that game screwed me on my combo pick on ProLine. But tonight, sprinkle of the night. Where would you go here, Maz, for Sports Select? Let's bring it up. Now you can just do it online. The QR code, go to the Lotto Spot retailer. Get them to scan it. You don't have to fill out any cards anymore if that's what you want. I like filling out the cards. Do you? Here's tonight's line, Monday Night Football. ProLine. Do you like that tie? Like, do you like that 340 on a tie, a 3-point game? I don't mind that.
No, the only thing I feel good about here is the over.
Do you?
I can't keep in mind. I don't know, because Jacksonville is another one of those teams that this should be a Kansas City win. It should be. Then every once in a while, Jacksonville, a team which you never see on TV, Trevor Lawrence will come through. I'm excited to see Travis Hunter because it really hasn't been on national TV.
45.
Maybe they put up a bunch of points. 45 and a half.
45 and a half.
Take the over.
Is your Maz is saying sprinkle of the day for him is the over. I'm going to be crazy. I got egg on my face tomorrow. I'm okay. I'm going to go 3-point game. I like the Pro Line tie, paying $3.40. It is Sports Select. Like I said, generate your QR code, do it online, do it on your mobile device, go in, scan it, boom. Every bet is 100% legal, chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select, when you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 years or older to play, and play responsibly. And then you go down the futures one day. You want to go down a rabbit hole, futures? I know we're going to break, Colson. NCAA, NBA final, NASCAR, soccer. You can bet a future on anything. It's a Sports Cage. We are the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM's Ranch Roundup is heading out to the pasture. But we're not horsing around. We're riding up with steaming hot Tim Hortons coffee and muffins fresh as a spring calf to say thanks to hard-working ranchers. We heard you earned it. It's the Ranch Roundup for Heartland Livestock Services Yorkton, Canadian AgriBlend, Moose Creek Red Angus, Team Auctions, and 620 CKRM.
SEIU West members are
phlebotomist, food service worker, security officer, plumber,
continuing care assistant,
porter, licensed practical nurse, medical device reprocessing worker, purchasing agent,
environmental services worker,
social services worker, cook, health information management practitioner, switchboard operator,
distribution worker.
The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seiuwest.ca.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
Check out the Cream of the Crop Trade and Craft Show this Friday and Saturday at the Connexus Arts Center. Over 60 local vendors ranging from artwork, handcrafted jewelry, and home decor. Full details at connexusartcenter.ca. Don't miss your chance to see Darius Rucker live at the Brand Center on Monday, October 20th, playing all the hits from All Right to Wagon Wheel. Great seats are still available at ticketmaster.ca. And get ready to party with the James Barker Band in Moose Jaw. The Bud Light Bucket Buckle Up Tour comes to the Temple Garden Center on November 20th. Grab your tickets at templegardencenter.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Celebration in Edmonton. Hockey's biggest stars staying. Connor McDavid and the Oilers agreed on a 2-year, $25 million contract extension. They announced that today. That is a bargain. He is not the highest paid player in the NHL, but definitely the best. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed American defensive back Nafis Lyon, 5'9", 185, joins the Riders. 4 years of CFL experience. He won a Grey Cup with the Montreal Alouettes. Also played with Edmonton. Major League Baseball. Jays off. They're in New York tomorrow. The Dodgers and Philly up 1-0. Brewers host the Cubs up 1-0. National Football League Week 5 ends tonight. The Chiefs in Jacksonville. We just talked about it. What do you got there? Maz likes the over. And the Sportscage.com poll today. What was the most satisfying sports story of the weekend? We have the Riders, the Blue Jays, the Rams, the Pats, and Maddox Schultz scoring 4 for the Pat Canadians. You can vote at sportscage.com. It is for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Whatever your sport is, Extreme has you covered. They have the price match guarantee. Get in right now to check out the new Bauer Flylight gear as well. They're local. They support local. Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina. We got about 30 seconds before we got Darian Durant on the other side of this. Maz, what do you got? Closing remarks in hour 2.
Well, we'll have to ask Doubles because after the game, he's in the Rider locker room dabbing it up with a bunch of Rider players. We got to ask Darian about his trip to Ottawa. Was he speaking at Parliament?
And we
was
got
he
to
there
ask him
talking
about
climate change?
Prank calls. We got to ask him about prank calls. Name, before we go to break, here's a text message, Prairie Land Rentals text line. When I was a kid, we'd stay at a hotel. I would take the TV remote control from my room, and if the hotel had them, go outside to the ground floor rooms and switch the channel on the TV while people are watching through the window. They'd go wild wondering how their TV was switching channels. Solid one. Real solid. Knock Knock Ginger. What a game. We should get a tournament. Sports Cage Knock Knock Ginger tournament. It's a Sports Cage. Tomfoolery all over the place here. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620ckrm.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan's Nurses Union is firing back at the Provincial Health Authority over patient overcrowding in a hallway inside the province's largest hospital. Bruce Boynton, the president of the Saskatchewan Union of Nurses, says the Saskatchewan Health Authority is misinforming the public about the issue at Royal University Hospital in Saskatoon.
There is such thing as seasonal surges, but that would imply that they come and go, whereas these surges have come and they've never left. We've been short-staffed without sufficient nursing for a long time. We've also seen a growth in our population and complexity of patients that have led to, a constant overcrowding of emergency departments.
The Health Authority has stood by its reasons for overcrowding, saying it's a result of seasonal flu and other issues, and that it's working to address pressures. Saskatoon's Great Western Brewing Company is investing $25 million to expand its historic facility on 2nd Avenue North. The project includes an 11,000 square foot brew house that will produce up to 550,000 hectoliters of beer each year, about 161 million bottles. President and CEO Michael Brennan says the new facility will open in 2026 and reflects the company's confidence in Saskatchewan's future. The expansion will add jobs and training opportunities while strengthening Great Western's role as a leader in the province's brewing industry. Alberta is floating the idea of building a pipeline from the oil sands to the northwest coast of British Columbia as part of the National Infrastructure Program. It has met with some criticism from BC and some support from Saskatchewan. More from Sask Today's John Cairns.
It shouldn't come as a surprise that Premier Scott Moe has voiced support for Alberta's proposed pipeline to the west coast. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith announced it would be backing that project. Mo offered his support on social media soon after. He explained to reporters why he offered that support.
I think it's the most significant, generationally important infrastructure project that we could consider as Canadians. I would have an impact positively, yes, from an economic perspective across this nation. The steel would come from across this nation. Many of the workers would have come from across this nation.
As for the comments from BC Premier David Eby that have been less than supportive, Premier Mo said the decision on a pipeline would be made by the federal government, not British Columbia. For Sask Today, I'm John Cairns.
And fans of The Walking Dead are getting a chance to own some of the zombie franchise's most coveted items. AMC Networks is partnering with Heritage Auctions to auction off more than 1,000 prop items, including Jeffrey Dean Morgan's bat. The highest priced item starts at $25,000 US for the original 1971 Pontiac Tempest, a car featured in the opening minutes of the series premiere. Online bidding runs until November 1st. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and Max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCara Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
Only minor weather makers coming into play here the next several days and nights. A hard freeze expected tonight. As things start to warm tomorrow, we'll see a return to more seasonable temperatures and above average readings on the way as we look forward to Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday with settled, dry conditions. The next opportunity for precipitation will be late next weekend. Skies will become partly to mostly clear tonight. It's chilly, down to -3. Chance of precipitation 10% or less. Light east to northeast winds, mostly sunny, 17 degrees tomorrow. South to southeast winds at 15 to 25. Chance of precipitation 0. Clear tomorrow night, not as cold. Lows near 4 degrees. South to southeast winds at 15 to 25. Chance of precipitation 0. Golden sunshine Wednesday with a high near 20. Chance of rainfall 0. Mostly sunny, 16 on Thursday. And golden sunshine Friday with a high near 20. With your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, I'm meteorologist Russ Murley.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X, make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 3 of the show on this Monday, like you said, for Kellen Solar. Solar experts in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Maz is with me. Colson's in the pocket. Prairie Land Rentals text line always open for you, 936-6262. YouTube chat is open. There's some good ones out there today. Shai thinks Trevor Harris is playing with an injury. Jeffrey is saying Jerome Messam as a big running back in the day. We're talking big running backs. Cornish wasn't that big. See, I didn't think he was too. Maz says he was. Jeffrey also, he'd still be doing prank calls if he could find a payphone, adding Ding Dong Ditch. Maz and I call it Knock Knock Ginger.
Knock Knock Ginger.
Knock Knock Ginger. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50, riders5050.ca. Early bird prize before Thursday at 5 p.m. this week. It's a Grey Cup ticket package. The package includes flights from Saskatchewan to Winnipeg, probably Regina or Saskatoon. 2 nights at Alt Hotel in downtown Winnipeg. 2 tickets to the Grey Cup, or you can take $4,000 cash. And then also, don't forget, we got an hour left. We're playing SaskTel Pick the Score. What do you think the score is Friday? Argo's in town to take on the Riders, 7 p.m. kickoff. We want to know your score. Colson's going to award someone 2 tickets to that game today, and then you're also entered to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. So a lot going on, Maz. We are going to hear from Trevor Harris. We got some audio from him coming in a bit and more from Coach Mace. But let's get it going with our friend, Darian Durant.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
All right, Darian, I know you and Maz have talked today, but if anyone saw the videos on social media, I got to ask, what the heck are you doing in Ottawa on Friday?
Are you there meeting with the Prime Minister? What's going on? Are you like a new political envoy?
I wish I was that special. Had an opportunity to catch an East Coast game. Haven't had a game all year. Craig Reynolds presented me with an opportunity to come up to Ottawa and meet with Discover Saskatoon and check out the game and be able to have a up close and look at the squad and be able to meet everyone. So it all worked hand in hand, and I just want to thank Craig and Steph over at Discover Saskatoon for making it happen for me.
There we go. Yeah, that looked fun. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that an old video? Yeah. What the heck? What is going on here? You never mentioned he was going to Ottawa?
Yeah, I kept that quiet.
Darian. Nothing. Hey, Darian, we've been talking on the show. I got rid of my landline earlier today. This was 5 decades in the making. Andrew Harris came on, said him and his buddies used to make prank calls all the time after having a few drinks. So I'm wondering, at what age were you making prank calls if you were drinking? You as a kid, were you and your brother, were you prank call kids? Like, are you and your buddies?
No, we weren't really prank call guys. I wasn't with those type of shenanigans, man. My mom, she was pretty strict with the phone. We could only use the phone at certain hours during the day. We had to make sure homework was done and all that kind of stuff. So I really didn't have an opportunity to. I wish I did, looking back, because it seemed like so much fun, but I never could.
What about Knock Knock Ginger or Ding Dong Ditch? Did you play any of that?
Yeah. No, I did that. Like I was. That's how I practiced my speed a little bit and my agility, knock, knock, run away, get away, and not get caught. So I think every kid did a little knock, knock, and run. I think that was just the norm.
I think most kids thought at the time when they were doing it, you were so clever that the neighbors, they always knew who it was. It's not like you were surprising. They always knew. Maybe they didn't say, but they always knew. You weren't as clever as you.
I think we forget that our neighbors were kids at one point in time. And when you're kids, you don't think that the adults have that much experience, right? So looking back, they knew everything that happened. We thought we were getting away with something, but little did we know they've been through it. They probably did it themselves when they were younger.
Okay, to the game. Positives, Riders score a first quarter touchdown. We start fast offensively. Yay. I wake up Saturday morning, Darian, and I'm like, did we seriously only win that game by 7 points? Like, it felt like the spread, we should have won by 25, 30 points.
Yeah, I think that, the game should have been a little bit larger margin than it was. You look at the Trevor Harris turnover down there late in the game when the Riders were about to score. I think that swayed the score a lot more. But you know what? I'm not as disappointed or as worried as a lot of people. I think that, when you look at Trevor's performance, he only threw 6 incompletions. He had a very efficient day. I'm sure there's a play or two that he wish he had back. But, he threw a great pass to Schaefer Baker early first quarter that Schaefer Baker dropped, and it could have kept the drive going. So, you know what? It just takes time to get this chemistry back. I think you're getting your starting lineup back at the right time with a meaningful game coming up, and you have all of your guys there healthy and ready to go. I think this will be a telltale game where you can really determine if there's something to worry about or not.
Okay, so you've only seen them on TV, but you had a chance to see the squad for real, live in person. What's something that maybe you noticed about the team to be like, oh, that hasn't showed up on camera yet? What was something that you saw to be like, all right, Rider Nation, feel good about this?
No, just seeing that defense fly around and forcing turnovers. I think you've been seeing that all year from them. Just seeing them in person fly around. They're physical. They make plays on the ball. Jameer Thurman's a stud. I think that, seeing him up close in person and watching him patrol the middle has just been a treat. And, this defense, they're opportunistic, man. They can attack the ball. They can make plays, and they don't give up a lot. So I was happy and pleasant to see the defense fly around and play like they have been all year.
What was Ottawa's defense? Are we not giving them the respect when you watch it? Your eyeball test, you're there live. We talked to Coach Harris earlier, and he said, that Ottawa defense held us in check for a lot of the night.
Yeah, they play well, and they have so much to play for. They're fighting for their jobs. No one on that team knows the future as far as their employment is concerned, so they're going to go out there and give it their all. So you have to give them credit. They made plays. That blitz at the end that forced the fumble on Trevor, that was a great disguise by the Ottawa front. And, look, these guys are professionals. They've had some bad breaks. They've been dealing with injuries all year, but they definitely came out fired up and ready to play, and you have to give them credit.
Darian Drew Brown, what did he throw? 3 picks. What's the most amount of interceptions you ever threw in a game, college or pro?
Oh, wow. I know I've thrown 3. I don't think I've thrown 4, because if I would have thrown 4, I may not have been in the game much longer after that. But it's tough whenever you're playing with desperation. You're trying to find any and everything you can to work. And even some of the passes, Geno Lewis went up and caught one in double coverage that should have been picked, in my opinion, as well. It just wasn't his day. He wasn't seeing the field like he normally does. And it was definitely uncharacteristic of him to go out there and just put the ball in the defense's hands like that.
The short yardage, obviously, and we talked to Coach Harris too, you want Tommy Stevens doing that. Best in the league at it. He said maybe the best ever doing it. So then they got AJ doing it. If you've ever taken a snap under a center, it's not like what one thinks, where the ball just comes back and it's easy. Like, you can break your fingers, you put it in there wrong, it gets cold, things move around, the snap's different. It's all that. Do you like AJ there? Would you rather see maybe, Cohen or Mayer in there?
You know what? I just want to see the best guy there. I mean, it really doesn't matter who it is. I think if you get the reps in during the week at practice, you stay after practice with the center, you make sure he's firing off the ball as if it's a game-like situation, then, you want to put the best guy there. So, unfortunately, Stevens, he's out with an injury, but AJ Ouellette, he's used to carrying the ball in tight quarters and trying to fight for a yard or two here or there. So I don't mind this as long as he's getting the reps and, it's not like it's new to him on game day.
Okay, so Darian, the nice guy, is out the window. The Ottawa Red Blacks have missed the playoffs 5 of the past 6 years. It's year 3 of Coach Bob Dice. There's a couple of games left. You have a head coach on your sideline coaching special teams in Rick Campbell. If it were up to you, do you make a move on Dice now if Campbell is going to be your guy going forward so he can assess what there is potentially for next year, they can't save this year, but for the future to build, what do you do?
I mean, at this point, with a few games left, you just let them ride it out. I mean, there's no need to make a coaching change now. If it's something that you're going to do, I'm sure Coach Dice is aware of it. It's just a part of the business. He's been in this game for a long time, so I'm sure he knows or is under some type of impression that this could be a change that's coming. And whenever you hire a guy like Rick Campbell as an assistant coach, you're also looking over your shoulder a little bit because it's tough to coach in those situations, especially if you're struggling. So I think it's inevitable. I hate to see it because Coach Dice is such a good man, a good coach. It's just unfortunate with the injuries and the just no stable lineup that he's been able to have, no quarterback depth, and he's just been going through every worst nightmare that a coach could have. So, but at this point, I mean, Ottawa, they're looking for some spark. The fan base is looking for hope. It's a pretty empty stadium out there, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, you got to see it live. Like, how many people do you think were actually there on Friday?
Man, I would say 15,000 maybe. The entire upper bowl on the the player sidelines was pretty empty, and it just wasn't a good sight for October football. Meaningful football.
One thing, and listening to the post game show, and people are calling in, and hey, we all know Rider fans, and the ones that it's like 24-hour rule for you. But people are criticizing Coach Mueller and the play calling, and then Harris, and we're not going down the field enough, and they want this and they want that. To the fans, Darian, as a quarter, because you used to hear it too, I'm sure, back in the day. What do you tell the fans about the actual how a football game works, how the strategy of a football game works? What do you say?
Look, it's not easy to just stand back there and throw the ball 50 yards down the field every single time. Like, I mean, these guys, they're trying to pre-safety, right? I mean, look, the entire league knows how accurate Trevor Harris is, right? They're not just going to play man-to-man all game or play zero blitz coverage where you give him these one-on-one opportunities. They're going to try to make him take the underneath throws and make it tough for him and make him march the ball down the field. So, I mean, look, you had a 82-yard pass to Myers. He broke another one. You had a late sluggo route to I think it was Myers again. He had some huge plays. And I think if you realistically, if you can get 3 to 4 explosive plays a game, then you're going to have some success as an offense. So, like I said, I think if Trevor went down and they scored a touchdown when they were down there, he doesn't fumble. You're looking at maybe a 24-7 game or something like that. I think the fans will feel a little bit better. But look, a win's a win. It's a road game. It's tough to go across the country and win. And now you're playing for the game to put yourself in the West Final at home. So I don't care how you get it done. It's done. And this game this week is for, is very, very special.
Okay, if Brett Lother's healthy, is he kicking this weekend against Toronto on Friday night at Mosaic?
I think we'll get a consensus from Rider Nation that he should be out there. I mean,
careful what you wish
never
for.
Know. Exactly. You never know, what you're missing till you don't have it anymore. So, even though Lother has his struggles, I think that in clutch moments, he's the guy that you want in there.
Okay. No.
Deadly. Do you feel bad for Campbell Fair in that one, Darian? Like, he hossled one. Golfers know what that means.
Yeah, you do. I mean, the thing you pointed to is nerves. I'm sure everyone is saying the same thing. I mean, you get out there and it's this is the big leagues, right? And for you to miss that bad, you have to chalk that up to nerves. And you do feel bad for a young guy. I mean, on a stage like that, this is professional football, and to shank one like that, you can't be happy about that. So my heart does go out to him a little bit.
I'm still amazed just watching you now, and you smile and you're cordial and all of this, but at times playing for this football team must have sucked when it didn't go well. We don't have to get into it. So I give you a lot of credit, or maybe just enough time has gone by, because we're the we're the best and we're the worst, the absolute worst. All right, I want to ask you about some other stuff. Hamilton looked like they got their groove back. You never know what team's going to, but then the other thing, the BC Lion offense, they're on fire. That looks like Winnipeg under Buck Pierce for many years with Zach. And that defense is coming around. Matthew Betts has got, 13 or 14 sacks. They just playing a little bit of defense, and that offense is rolling.
Yeah, I mean, BC's looking good, and I talked about it earlier this season that with this Mike Benavides defense, you needed some veteran presence, and you need continuity, and you can see that the more and more this group plays together, the stronger they get as a unit. So they're not giving up as many big plays. They're forcing the offense to take whatever underneath throws that they may give. That's just been a staple of Mike Benavides, and with that offense and Nathan Rourke. It's just a matter of time. He's shown flashes over the past couple years that he can play at a high level, and he's starting to do that now. This BC team could be scary, as the season goes on. So luckily for the Riders, when you win games early and you put yourself in position to have a home playoff game, you can get these guys outdoors and get them in elements that they're not comfortable with, and that'll be to the Riders' advantage.
Well, like
the Calgary stamp. Yeah, Farhan Lalji said that Buck Pierce is building an outdoor team. And on the flip side of that, because you've been part of this too, the Calgary Stampeders seem to have fallen off a cliff. They can't do anything right these days. And as a player, that's got to be frustrating because the effort's there. They're just not getting results.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We went through this in 2013. We went on a 5-game skid towards the end of the season. So these things happen, man. And when you have everyone pumping you up early in the season and telling you you're the best team in the league and you're beating teams left and right, you're going to get everyone's A game as the season goes on. And now there's more film on Calgary and VA and everything that you need to see with this Calgary team. And the opponents are making adjustments. So, I wouldn't write Calgary off just yet. Like I said, in 2013, we went through a 5-game skid, and you just have to have a meeting amongst yourself and just, forget about everything that happened in the past and move forward because, you're as the team, you're the only ones who can make a difference. You can't listen to all the noise outside. You have to make sure you're clicking as you go into this last stretch of the season and the playoffs.
If they lose in Hamilton, is it curtains for the Stamps?
I wouldn't say that. Hamilton's a good team. I mean, going on the road and playing against a team that's as hot as Hamilton and which are potentially league MOP again and Bo Levi. I mean, this is not going to be an easy task. So I wouldn't write them off yet. We'll see how it goes. There'll be a crossover for sure. We know that. We'll just wait and see who it is. But I don't think Calgary, you can write them off at all.
How about them Cowboys dominating the New York Jets yesterday? That was nice. I watched that game from start to finish. And what did he say?
The New York Jets.
Yeah. You can't put too much on that, man. Like I know we need to take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time.
I know,
but
2-2-1 is solid. Did you see Jerry giving the bird? Did you see Jerry giving the bird to the fans after the game from his private suite? That was nice.
Well, the Jets fans deserve that. But look,
hey, a win's a win. We won't complain.
That's it.
That's it. We're all part of Cowboys Nation. We love Baker Mayfield. And breaking news: Cooper Kupp doesn't play for the LA Rams anymore. He's a Seattle Seahawk. That's what I learned yesterday.
Oh wow, Mass. You have to get up on your pro football study there, buddy.
All of a sudden I'm like, Cooper Kupp. I'm like, when did he stop playing? I'm like, oh, that's right. He doesn't play for the Rams anymore. I'm
gonna say I would have been in the same. I would have been like, oh yeah, he's not there anymore. Okay, all the NFL games yesterday or this week. Which one was the most surprising for you? Which one was the head scratcher for you?
Oh wow, head scratcher. I'm thinking that Arizona and Tennessee game. The way they lost that game,
awful.
You get an interception and you fumble just by hitting the ground. Tennessee jumps on it. Man, just to lose like you're down 21-6 going into the fourth quarter, and usually in the NFL that's a guarantee. So that would have to be the most head scratching game of them all for me.
Patriots.
Oh well. That's big time. I didn't even think about that. Now that's huge. That was huge for the Patriots, but that just shows you the type of coach that Mike Vrabel is, man.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of great coaching, and he shows that each and every year.
Okay, we want to leave you with this. Colson found it. He's gonna put it up. Just it was August 20th, 2016.
Oh, Colson, why you got to do a guy like that? Come on, Colson. Come on.
Wow. What was 53? What was the score, Colson?
And what year was this?
I do not sanction this at all. This is a low blow. Low blow.
And what year was this?
2016.
Oh, my last, and that's the day after my birthday. Wow.
Colson. 53-7 loss to the Tiger Cats.
We're going to edit this out of the podcast. This is not going on the stream.
Darian threw 4 interceptions, and Colson was like, "No, I think he threw more." That's just Darian. Well, let's regroup for next week.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I need to go after seeing this.
Wow.
Go have some Cavassier. See you, Doubles. Guys. Right on. Double Talk with Darian Durant is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting.
What are you doing?
Does your workplace have the proper safety program? If not, call Campbell Safety Consulting. No, it's all right.
It's funny. I talked to Darian today. I'm like, hey, we should do a Rider Nation podcast coming up here. He's like, yeah, sure. Now, Colson, thanks for that. Now there's going to be no return calls or messages. Never to be heard from again.
Prank call him till he answers. It's the theme of the day.
He never answers. You got to. Colson.
Okay, let's go to a quick break. We'll come back, read some text messages. We're going to hear from Mark Mueller with Dave Thomas as well. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Freeze Tallman wants you to get her done before the winter. They can save you time and hassle by delivering your building materials directly to your home or cottage. They have siding, roofing, brown-treated lumber, composite decking, aluminum railing, fencing, everything you need to finish your outdoor building projects before snow falls. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
This is Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Wayne on the YouTube chat, Prairieland Rental Style, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Now's the time to start thinking about Husqvarna snow throwers. They have them in. Wayne says Trevor Harris seems off, although he still threw for 341 yards. Shy says that he thinks Harris is playing with an injury.
Some people have thought that since the Calgary game because it was a physical game and they got to him a couple of times, and it's just sort of kind of been about that. Now, the 341 that Harris threw for, remember, 82 of that was yak yards from Myers after the catch. Okay? And hey, listen, it all goes to the stats, you know? But unfairly, sometimes quarterbacks get tagged with interceptions that aren't their fault. That's just the stat line. Same thing with yards, where that one, that's Myers being a great athlete. Man, he's a find.
We haven't had many text. Yeah, we haven't had many text messages on the Connor McDavid thing. That was hour 1. There were a lot. People were piling on the Darnell Nurse and all that. But hold on, there's one on the Blue Jays I want to get to here. Avery messaged in a while ago. Today was an optional, and this is alleged. Avery and our YouTube chat. Today was an optional workout for the Blue Jays and Yankees. Every Blue Jay showed up, and no Yankees showed up. This series is over, according to Avery.
Okay, on the Connor McDavid thing, yes, it was announced today. I think a lot of people are Connor McDavid doubt. Because this has been 3 months of will he, won't he? And it's like, who cares? Who cares? Like, if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. Yes, it will be big news. But ever since the day Wayne Gretzky got traded, hockey was changed forever, so nothing will ever be as big as that. So I think he's signed. Okay, finally, it's over. Put it to rest. Because everyone's out there speculating. Oh, what about this? What about that? And then I was reading from some credible people picking the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup this year. Like,
no,
what?
That's not rude. Who's doing that?
If we could get them on the show, I'd be like, hey, come on, this is going to be great. And I'm like, really? You're picking the Leafs to win the Cup? What makes you think from what they did in the offseason and losing Mitch Marner and picking up Nicholas Waugh that the Leafs?
That's how many definitely
people,
not happening.
Well, no, but then on the flip side of that, how many people, and I know that Barkov got hurt and he's going to be out for probably the year. No respect to the Florida Panthers that they'd even have a chance to win a Stanley Cup again. I think Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett. So on that recap of the Stanley Cup, the final series, you're like, you just look at that. That was a team. I like Paul Maurice.
But you know what I remembered today when I was listening and talking about all this, and I'm like, how much McDavid are we going to talk about? I don't know. Maybe I get Cam Moon on tomorrow. I'm not sure. It was like, but the one thing of last year's playoffs that still is how the Oilers beat the brakes off Vegas. Like, that series wasn't even close.
Yeah, but they beat the brakes off Dallas too. That series,
exactly. Like that was.
But then I look at a guy in that final game in Game 6, Sam Reinhart, good Western Hockey League guy, 4 goals, just heart and soul.
Yeah,
that's what the Oilers are missing. And did they get better by losing Corey Perry and Evander Kane, guys that can produce in the playoffs? Maybe you hate them in the regular season.
Evander Kane producing in the playoffs. Whoa.
Well, no. How many goals did he have last year?
I don't know. Not
he
many.
Played well.
Not enough.
He didn't take that many stupid penalties.
Perry was awesome. But
Perry?
Scott in Saskatoon goes, late tuning into the show, but seems like a 2-year extension for McDavid. Just bought Miss McDavid 2 more years of find the perfect property in Florida for the next go-around when he signs there. And then there'll be one of those lease signs at a restaurant in downtown Edmonton. And Lenny the dog, he was planning to run on the beach. No, he's got 3 more years running outside
and
the cold.
And for the love of God, Stan.
They probably put those muckalucks for dogs on their dog. What are they called?
For the love of God, Stan Bowman, because I saw this video again the other day. If Connor McDavid wants to go to a liquor store after they win a playoff series, hire some kid that's 19 years old or 18 years old to go get the booze so Connor doesn't have to go into Liquor Depot himself and carry it out to his car. Still is one of the funniest videos out there of like, this is so bad for the league. You have the world's best hockey player who's lugging a 2.4 of Canadian back to his Hyundai Santa Fe.
I'm probably sure Hybrid. He wasn't in a Hyundai. Yeah, no, he definitely wasn't. We mentioned it earlier. The Regina Pats pick up their first win of the season against Swift Current on the weekend. We were joined by Ellis Mayette from the Pats now. Here he is on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. There you see him. Hey, big win. Like, it's only what 4 games into the season, but it must have been a deep breath or let it out. Okay, we got one, boys.
Yeah, that was coming. We had a few good games with Edmonton and PA and Swift before, and even Medhat. I think it was just it's good to get the monkey off our back. We needed one, and I think we can build off that one. That one was felt real good after.
So you're a local boy. Like we can call Lumsden or Deer Valley local boy. Sweet track, in good shape this year, by the way. I know that. You're with Drumheller, and then you get the call. Durant is bringing you into the Pats, to your hometown team. How did that all go down? How special was that for you? Take us through it.
Yeah, that was, I don't think there's a better situation I could be in right now than playing for the team I watched growing up, living at home with my parents and having all my family and friends around me. I think it just kind of happened out of luck. They got a camp invite, and I think I came in and earned my spot, and I had a chip on my shoulder. It's, like I said before, there's probably nowhere else in the world I'd rather play right now than for my hometown, and knowing the past years of the struggle and trying to get out of it. So yeah, it's still surreal every day getting to play for him and go to the rink and live at home all at the same time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy right now.
Right on.
What's that responsibility like? Because playing in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, good league, came from a pretty good team. Drum, they're tops in the South Division right now. To make sure that you stay a Regina Pat and that your role with the team grows and the team grows along with you, because they're giving you a shot. Now it's up to you to live up to your end of the bargain.
Yeah, I think it's just take it day by day. It's a lot different, the league in general, from the junior A. Junior A is still a really good league, but there's the best players from junior A are going to the dub, and then all their best players. So yeah, it's just getting used to it, and I think take it day by day. Don't look at the big picture too much, and just try to focus on myself, control what I can control, and don't let others beat me out for my spot.
You got 4 games in, you get 3 goals and 1 assist. You got a point a game. What goals did you have going into the year? Mom and Dad giving you like a point a game? We're going to give you $25 a game, like back in Atom Hockey or anything?
No, they didn't do that this year. I mean, I wish it was like that, but I got to score. So, I don't know. I kind of just came into camp trying to make the team, and then once I signed, I just tried to make the most out of preseason and try to get used to the league, knowing that it's different, and then take it day by day. I don't know if I have a number set, but it's just score when I can, take the points while I can, and take it day by day.
You said you guys have had some really good games against some of the better teams in the league. What's something that you can see right now that maybe it hasn't clicked just yet, but it's going to make you dangerous come Christmas, and then as we get into February and March of this season, team-wise, what's going to make you guys somebody that's really hard to play against?
I think all 4 lines, we got real good depth on our team. Maybe we don't have the star player that some of the other teams do, but our depth is really good, and our D-core, it's almost every guy's returning, and they're all they all have experience now, and they're real good. And then get to our goaltending, and we have 3 solid goalies right now. I know we probably won't roll with 3 this year, but just being able to win in different ways, I think we can score. We can also win in games 2-1. So it's being versatile and not just relying on one line or one guy to do all the scoring or a goalie to make all the saves. I think we got depth.
I'll leave you with this. Do you know how many rounds of golf your father is projected to play this year?
Oh, I think I was talking to him about that yesterday. I think he's at 125. So, I mean, he's probably got a couple more weeks. So that means at least a round a day. So
yeah,
he's gotten too many. He's got way too many this year, but still beat him.
So. Do you peel him?
Yeah, sometimes.
Attaboy. Hey, thanks for doing this, Ellis. Congratulations on making the team, and then keep it up. Love what you're doing. Love watching it. Good job.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Right on. There he is, local boy.
Thanks,
Ellis Mayette. Yeah, his.
Marty, one of the best things about this and the way that the NCAA thing is all unfolded, because remember, for the longest time growing up, you and I are, for it seemed forever. If you were a Western Hockey League guy, you were a Western Hockey League guy. But if you were a Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League guy or AJHL, like they never crossed paths, they never crossed over. You were one or the other, and you were put in that spot. And you never, whereas now you see guys that are in the A and the SJ and the MJ, and they're getting chances in the Western Hockey League. I think it should have been like this all along. As opposed to, you shouldn't have got pigeonholed before that. You're an SJ guy. You could never play in the dub. Well, don't give me that. If you're the best player on, let's say, the Weyburn Red Wings, like, you couldn't make a dent as a PA Raider.
That's a good point.
Like,
no,
that's what I like so far about this year. And how about Gavin McKenna giving the horns down to ASU? Just troll. I'm like, he's a WWF superstar. He's trolling the fans because, and if you didn't see this and all you saw was him giving horns down to ASU, every time he got the puck on Friday and Saturday night, the crowd was chanting overrated. And then he got an assist on Friday, and then he stuffed it down their throat on Saturday when he scored a very nice goal.
And Penn left Tempe, Arizona with 2 wins, and he gave it to the student section. It's online. It's pretty funny to watch for sure. And then also, you know what? I should have given Clutch Performer a shout out as well to the facility, the new facility in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, the 2-rink facility with a swimming pool, nicest in the province. Hands down. They got an area. They built a hotel. They're building another hotel. They got sub shops and coffee places and a bar across the street. Good on you, Prince Albert. So I like to take a little jab at Prince. Yeah, who I walk in? I walk in upstairs. Guess who's sitting there watching TV, trying to flip through the channels like he's in his living room? Kelly Taylor. He's like, I don't have cable at home, so I come here and watch. I just live over there. The comedian, Kelly Taylor. What a facility, Maz. Like,
I'd have to. You're going to have to landmark this. How close is this to my Auntie Eva's house? Because everything in Prince Albert to me is how far is it from Aunt Eva's? All right, where am I going? How am I going? I'm not Uncle Pete's house because Uncle Pete lives in the rich neighborhood in PA. That's like Beverly Hillbilly style over there. Yeah. So where's Auntie Eva? She lives a normal life in like real PA, kind of at the bottom of the hill.
No, this is top of the hill. This isn't West Flats. It's top of the hill, and it's kind of near that A&W. If you're taking the back road out to the number 6 highway, and then the baseball parks and all that are across the street, it's right up in there. You can't miss. A beautiful job, everybody in PA. Okay, we got some rider audio coming up, interview coming up, and then one of the callers from the post game show, we have to play it. It's so bizarre. We'll play it when we come back. It's Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Ugh, what do I want for supper? There's a bag of baby carrots, a slice of cheese that looks haunted.
Step away from the sad cheese, Dave.
What, the fridge? Since when do you talk?
Since you've been standing here for 10 minutes whispering pizza or cereal like it's a hostage negotiation. I'll make this simple. Order Western Pizza. You are welcome.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at SaskToday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at SaskToday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Connor McDavid signs a 2-year extension with the Edmonton Oilers, $25 million. So it's not as much as Kirill Kaprizov's deal, which is averaging $17 million a year. McDavid's about 12.5? Jeez, what a steal for the Oilers. Major League Baseball right now, LA and Philly, bottom of the 6-0-0. Brewers hosting the Cubs today. National Football League. Week 5 ends tonight with the Chiefs in Jacksonville, and the Riders signed American defensive back Nafis Lyon. He joins the Riders. He's played with Edmonton and won a Grey Cup with Montreal. Sportscage.com poll today. What was the most satisfying sports story of the weekend? The Riders, the Blue Jays, the Rams, the Pats, or Maddox Schultz scoring 4 for the Pack Canadians? You can vote at sportscage.com. Sports Ticker is for Regina Steelcraft Doors, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. You need a garage door, they have it at Regina Steelcraft Doors. All right, Maz, did you hear this caller? I don't think you did. On the post-game show.
Let me guess. They're too drunk and crazy. Those are the best. They always have been for decades, and a little irrational.
Colson, how do you want to do this? You just want to let her fly? Okay, here it is from the post-game show. If you know this person, check if they have a gas leak in their house. Monty's not happy. Yeah, that's what his name. Monty.
Monty. I already love Monty.
No, never was, never will be. And if one person has to go, it's him. His play calling.
Are we watching the same football games this year?
Watched every damn one.
So why do you think he needs to go?
Well, look at tonight's game. The play calling's pitiful. They should have won.
Give me some real examples. Trevor Harris completed 27 of 33 passes for 341 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions, by the way. And the ground game wasn't working that great, but A.J. Ouellette still had 18 carries in the game. Dante Myers, a second-year receiver, goes over 1,000 yards. Keyshawn Johnson has done it. Like, what do you want from this guy? Cite me some real examples.
Well, they could go downfield a lot more rather than all these little check down plays that he's throwing for 3 to 6
They didn't
yards.
go downfield today. Dante Myers had a 66-yard catch-and-run touchdown.
That wasn't the
Trevor Harris put
throw.
one ball on the money to Kean Schaefer-Baker on a corner route that admittedly he dropped, but Trevor Harris was throwing the football down the field today. Dante Myers had 2 big catches, in fact.
Well, that should be at least one on every drive, not only every third or fourth drive.
I don't know about
My
one on
man,
every
you
drive,
sound
but I
like
do
the
feel
fella
like
they called in earlier this year that wanted Trevor Harris just to drop back and throw it 50 yards in the air just cuz. It has to be dialed up, and I thought actually Mark Mueller called a great game in this one, and if there was a couple more caught passes, Keyshawn...
Yeah, so Monty wants Mark Mueller fired. Jeez. What? Throw it down the field. It's not a video game, Monty. And there's strategy behind everything. It's not how it works. And they go on talking about he's going to be a sought-after head coach candidate in the league.
I hope that right now Monty's listening, because we were talking prank calls all day to be like, boys, called you on Friday and you're replaying me on Monday. Who wins? Touchdown. 2-point convert, Monty. Scoreboard, Monty 8. CKRM football staff, 0. Monty.
Monty, you got a fan in Mass. That's all there is to it. It was getting heated there.
Okay.
I thought Monty was going to come and fight.
Yeah, Monty would come through the phone. I'd put money on Monty. But you and I both said at the start of the show, we were expecting 40-some points by the Riders. This was going to be a beatdown on the Ottawa Redblacks. We were going to correct everything that's been wrong with how we've been playing lately, and we're going to snap this losing streak, and we are just going to lay the boots to Ottawa. And it didn't happen. Did not happen.
Okay, so here is Dave Thomas today. He had a little sit-down, a little 2-minute sit-down with offensive coordinator Mark Mueller.
Coach, when you look at the body of work of your offense through the course of the season, what do you see that's been accomplished so far?
So far, I think we've been playing, giving us a chance to win. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, you can look at stats. We don't even really talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, our biggest thing is, like, at the end of the game, have we given our, the defense and special team a chance to win this game? And that starts with protecting the ball and protecting the quarterback. And I think if you do that, those two things, then you'll stay on the field longer, because you have more chances to score, which means they have less chances to score, right? So, and then when we've had to, we've been able to push the ball down the field a bit. So that starts with running the ball. Like, to push the ball down the field, you got to get them up, right? Because teams play deep in this league, and that's just kind of how it works. So I'd be proud of how we've worked, but I'm hopefully more excited about where we can go, especially with how hard these guys work and how they play a very physical brand of football, which is what you need this time of year.
To echo your words then, you say that really the stats don't matter. One stat, though, that is up there is you're among the league leaders in time of possession. Is that an important thing?
I think we've always talked about, like, in able to run certain plays and build off plays, you need to run more plays. I know it sounds ridiculous, but, like, if you're going to run plays off of plays, you need to run those plays. And you need to, the more you're on the field, the more chance you have to throw the ball to 4 different receivers or run the ball and stay on the field. So the more, we have an obsession for possession here. That's what the team is built on, right? So if we have an obsession for possession, well, we need to possess the ball more than the other team. So the more we have the ball, the more chances we have to score.
I don't want to imply that your job is ever easy, but at this time of year, is it more difficult in the fact that you're balancing having seen a lot of film on your opponent and the tendencies that they bring, plus you factor in the fact that, we've got to play a playoff game at some point. We don't want to show too much. There's got to be a lot of this going on in your decision making.
Yeah, not as much that last part yet, because we don't really. It's not at that time to think of yet. You know what I mean? But the more film you have, the more games you play against. I mean, in the CFL, you play teams twice, and sometimes, like, in a couple weeks here, we're going to play Winnipeg and BC again, right? But we play Toronto for a second time, right? We haven't seen them from the beginning of the season, so that's a little bit better from what have we done since then? What have they done since then? But it does get harder later in the CFL season with 9 teams of doing different stuff all the time. So it just comes down to execution and who's the more physical team and who executes the better. So, I mean, that's what we're out here trying to get better at, and that's what we have the faith in our room to do.
Mark Mueller's a smart guy. He's got it dialed. And I know, Monty, if you're listening, love to hear from you as well. But there's still the fact, though, that I think the vast majority of us have a hard time believing we only won that game by 7 points.
Our champagne problems are back, Barney. Champagne problems. We're so good. It's not just good enough to win. We need to be dominant in winning. So remember the good old days where we'd scrap and fight. Hey, if it was 1 point every game, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
I know. Now we expect more. We want more. We deserve more. What about this Friday? Maybe will we see Toronto rolling into here with who's quarterbacking them?
Jarrett Daggy or Seth Daggy? Seth Daggy.
Jarrett Daggy. Jarrett Daggy.
Okay, because remember when Seth Daggy was a Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback, and he eventually got a start, and by the end of the first quarter, he had thrown so many interceptions, his CFL career was pretty much over.
Worst CFL opener, Seth Daggy or Campbell Fair?
Campbell Fair. The coffin corner convert is one of the best lines from social media on Friday night.
Who said it? We should give him credit. That is actually really funny. Feel bad for the guy, but sorry, man.
If it was Greg from Piffle's podcast or who, because there were so many things flying around on Friday. Just because sometimes the internet's fun. Okay, it is. It's not all.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly scumbags and bad news. But sometimes it's fun and makes you smile, and I'm like, that's funny. A coffin corner convert.
We're gonna go back. We played this in hour 1. It's Mace 2 Colson. But if you missed it or missed the ticker, the Riders signed American defensive back Nafis Lyon. Interesting way that Mace pronounces his name, but he's joining the Riders. 4 years of CFL experience. Spent time with the Edmonton Elks before being traded to Edmonton, or before being traded to Montreal in August of his sophomore campaign. He spent the next 2.5 seasons in Montreal. He was part of the 2023 Grey Cup championship team in Montreal. Here's Mace on the signing of Lyon.
Oh, man, just a veteran presence, at this time of year, just you can never have too many guys that have CFL experience, so you don't have to completely teach them the game. And, Feast, he's made plays in this league, for a couple years, and just another vet to bring in to be able to help us if we do need it. Depth is key this time of year.
We do not need Roland Milligan Jr. or Marcus Sales on the shelf for maybe if it's just for Friday night. Tavon Campbell, take a seat, rest up, roll the dice, try and pull it out with those guys. We need those guys healthy, Mouse. I like this signing, though.
I like this signing, too. I was checking. It doesn't look like he's played football so far in 2025.
That's what I said, yeah.
And then conversely, usually when they're adding a player, did they have to delete? It doesn't show, but I know that practice rosters are expanded at this point. When you check the injury list today from the Rider practice, there's a lot of names on there.
Yes.
There are a lot of names on there. But I think that Brett Lothar was kicking field goals again. No, it said he didn't practice, but then that's conflicting reports of people being at the stadium saying, no, Brett was kicking.
Yeah, we did.
I like Micah Johnson, personal. Coach, I've been playing this game for 27 years in the CFL. I ain't practicing on a Monday in October. I'm good. Dante Myers. Oh, no. Okay, hold on a sec. I didn't see this. Dante Myers did not practice today because of ankle. That is not good.
Let's
He's been our best player.
Yeah, let's read. Well, whoa. AJ,
on
let's
offense?
stand up.
No. But on offense, as far as receivers go, Dante Myers has been, the past 8 games, he has become the safety blanket for Trevor Harris.
Do we need more out of a JoJo? Something weird there.
Yeah, totally. To me, here's the thing. I've always liked Mitch Picton. He's never been given a real opportunity in my mind. But whenever he is in there, he just makes plays. And if this was a playoff game and I'm the roster, Joe, you're young, you've got some stuff to learn. I need people I can count on. Mitch Picton's going on ahead of him. But Mitch always seems to be the odd guy out.
That's the Monty.
Mitch makes plays. Pardon?
That's the Monty in you talking. I don't know if y'all go to that extent. How about Tommy Neal, though? Running over guys. Crushing guys. Yeah.
To me, because Neal has become reliable, and to me, when Picton's been given his chance, he's reliable. He'll make his catches. You never ever see him out of position. And he just knows how to play.
What? Jeffrey is still listening on the YouTube chat nice and late. Pick the score, too. We got, 5 minutes left? No, a minute left, Colson. Jeffy says Mueller will be the Stamps' next head coach. Huh. Interesting. Okay, we got to go. We're out of time. I'm back tomorrow. The Professor, Don Hewitt, will be with me. We're hoping to talk to former Rider kicker Chris Milo on the show and a whole lot more. The Mavs has got you Wednesday. It is the Sports Cage. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting live from downtown Regina.
It's 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Saskatchewan's government is taking another look at farmland ownership rules. Agriculture Minister Darrell Harrison announced a new farmland ownership advisory committee to gather public feedback and review current laws. The committee includes Chair Ken McDonald and members Darren Kuski and Kurt Chikoski. McDonald says the group will study all aspects of farmland ownership to ensure the land remains a priority. The government will review the committee's findings once consultations end later this fall. The provincial government is also